Alright guys, so first of all, I'm going to ask everyone right off the top, right off the bat, please go easy on me today. This is an experiment. We've never run this system virtually before, but some of our feedback that we've been getting in our various discourse channels recently have been asking us to expand our library of games or our selection of games and to try and include some stuff that is more miniature focused. So, my favorite World War II miniature game, personally, is definitely Battlegroup. So we're going to be trying to run Battlegroup here virtually, and we'll go through like exactly how we're doing it. We've done this kind of thing before. Technically, anytime we've run Battle Carry Sabo, every time we've run Sitrep Skirmish, every time we've run Contact Front, it has been a virtual miniature system. Technically, Air War C-21 is a miniature system. Technically, Modern Naval Command is a miniature system. So we run miniature systems virtually before, but this is the first time we've tried Battlegroup. So here we go. So the setting that we're doing for today's Battlegroup game is, as you can see on the screen here, the landings on Tarawa, which in itself is a bit of a misnomer. The name of the island was technically Betio, which is in the Tarawa atoll. But whenever you look up any kind of the battle is really named the Battle of Tarawa. We picked this battle because today is the anniversary of that battle. Technically, the Marines landed yesterday on November 20th, and then it took about 2 more days to secure the island. Yard for yard, it's some of the bloodiest terrain in all of World War II. I think maybe some of the factories in Stalingrad might be able to give it a run for its money. But for the sheer size of the battlefield, or I should say the absurdly small size of this battlefield, the ferocity of the Japanese defense, and the difficulties overcome by the U.S. Marine Corps to take this island, frankly, no, it blows everything else out of the water. No pun intended. In fact, the Marine landings encountered such difficulties and they had such problems because of a whole bunch of problems I won't really get into too much. It basically invented the Navy SEALs. So if you ever get curious about where the Navy SEALs come from, go to Bloody Tarawa. This is where they technically get their start from. So in a super fast thing, our super fast overview, we're going to go over some of the background for the battle. So the war in the Pacific, at least starting in 1942, late 42 going into early 43, was envisioned around 2 basic drives. One in the South Pacific under Army Command, that's General Douglas MacArthur, places like New Guinea, the Solomon Islands, and so on. And a Central Pacific drive run by the Navy under command of Fleet Admiral Chester Nimitz, where he's going to start driving across the Central Pacific. Those 2 lines are going to meet here in the Philippines. The Gilbert Islands, right here, was pretty much the very first step in that Central Pacific drive. And again, 20 November 1943. So here is a zoom in of Betio Island in the Tarawa Atoll. It's the largest, I think. Yeah. So here's the Tarawa Atoll. As you can see, it's a whole bunch of islands. The reason they're kind of shaped like this is it is the rim of a collapsed volcano. So this whole area used to be a gigantic volcano. It blew up, it sank down into the ocean. However, the rim of that volcano, although this one's not very round, obviously, it's more of a triangle, was close enough to the surface of the water where as coral began to build up over millions and millions of years, you wind up with this ring or this chain of very, very, very small and narrow islands. Betio had a airfield on it, so it had to be taken. It wasn't the only island taken in the Tarawa Atoll, but it was definitely the main one. So whenever you're talking about, again, the Tarawa Atoll, you're usually talking about Betio Island, but the 2 names throughout history have become kind of synonymous. Hello, Damon. Good evening. Welcome to the chat. Yeah, Jen says in the chat, no wonder this was a bloody battle. This was Marines versus Marines. This is true. But what Jen's referring to here, and I got a bit off on a tangent there, is that we are technically up against the Japanese Special Naval Landing Force, i.e. Japanese Marines. So we have Marines versus Marines in this one, and yeah, it's going to get messy. So Betio Island is insanely small. Um, Down here is the scale. This entire board, we actually measured it out and did it in Panzerliter once. The entire Betio Island covers something like 14 hexes, depending on the scale, anywhere between 14 and 25 hexes. A single Panzerliter board that you've seen before has 660 hexes. This is, again, 14 or 25. So, yeah, it's incredibly tiny. The island is like barely 100, maybe 150 yards wide at its narrowest point, 1.7 miles across. I don't remember how many acres or square miles, not very many. And yet this place is defended by 4,500 Japanese Marines, um, and I think it's like 800 Korean laborers. They were busy building this airfield. They brought in some slave labor from Korea to help finish up this airfield, and they were assaulted by something like 8 to 10,000 Marines at one point. Here we're looking at the initial battalions. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 battalions. That's 8 times 800. That's 6,400 right there, plus support troops. Yeah, you're looking at between 8 and 10,000 men at the utmost. The rear admiral, the Japanese rear admiral that was in charge of this island, he claimed it would take 1 million men 100 years to take this island. And a couple thousand Marines did it in 3 days. They paid one hell of a price, though. I'm not even kidding. So I won't go through all the detail. Again, we did some research. We know where every single major gun was placed. We know where every single building was. Again, this island is terribly small. And then just to make sure we were close, we looked up some basic information on how the squads were made up at this period of World War II. One approximation I did have to make is I'm using an Imperial Japanese Army rifle squad when I really should be using Special Naval Landing Force. This was the closest I could find in the time allotted. So that's the background. The area that we're looking at is here. And we're not doing the initial landing. So we are right now on the exact anniversary of this battle. They technically landed yesterday, 20 November, so yesterday. And what we're doing today is part of the push inland. Because this is going to be complicated enough to try to brand new system on a virtual environment, I don't want to add amphibious landing rules into it. So again, we're doing this in 20 millimeter, and the scale is important even in a virtual game because you have to take the size of your table. I'm doing what's basically an 8x, I think it's an 8x4 table. We're doing an 8x4 table, and you have to multiply that by 76 in order to get the right scale at 20 millimeter. So we have a board that's just about 600 feet wide or 200 yards. Hence, we have to measure versus our scale down here, and I know what terrain features to include in the map. So here is our map, and again, the Marines are already ashore, although they only have a little bit of a toehold there, and we're ready to get started. I'll zoom in a little bit so we can take a look at what we got. So we have little virtual miniatures. Here we've got a BAR, for example, a Browning automatic rifle. Prone Marine with a rifle, standing Marine with a Thompson, standing Marine with a M1 Garand rifle, fire team number 1, fire team number 2. You guys got the idea. Here's a little squad leader right here. We have the LVT or Amtrax. This is what the Marines landed in instead of Higgins boats. At least that was the plan. There's a whole lot I won't get into there, but yeah, the idea that some of the Marines were landing in Amtrax and some of them were landing in those Saving Private Ryan style Higgins boats is a huge problem, and that's one of the reasons why Tarawa was so bloody. To the point where the Navy had to create on the fly an entire new Special Forces unit that would eventually grow into the Navy SEALs. It came from where those coral reefs were that the Amtrax could cross and the Higgins boats couldn't, and the first wave was left stranded ashore by itself for 6 of the most absolutely blood-soaked hours in the history of World War II. Yeah, it turns into a mess. We also have some, okay, so one reason I picked this particular spot on Tarawa is this is one of the very few places where 2nd Composite Battalion was able to land some tanks. So we do have some Shermans. These are standard M4 A2s. I shouldn't say completely standard. They do have diesel engines. That has no real game effect. But the diesel engines were important. The Marines liked the diesel engine. seawater does not mess with diesel as much as it does with gasoline. So the Army didn't like the diesel. They pretty much shit-canned it, and they had a bunch of them laying around. And as I've said many times, the Marines often have to use the Army's leftovers. So, yeah, the Marines were like, hell yeah, we'll take some free tanks, especially since they run on diesel engines, and diesel engines are a little bit easier with seawater than gasoline engines are. The Army doesn't care about that stuff. Marines kind of have to. Meanwhile, the Japanese are well entrenched. Obviously, they have trenches already on the table. This is the exact location of the historical, or of a historical, 5-inch coastal defense gun, 127 millimeter. It's got a 6-man crew, including an officer. It's in a hardened bunker there that's already been beat up by American battleship artillery fire. There'll be some more of that coming in. A machine gun team, 70 millimeter field gun left over from like 1928, I think. Again, the Japanese Army, and by extension Special Naval Landing Force, really had terrible equipment. Their equipment was ass, especially their tanks. We have twin 13 millimeters, so picture a little bit bigger than a 50 cal. So twin 50 plus cals, machine guns for anti-aircraft. Here it's being used in a ground suppression role. And of course we have more field guns, and we have another 70 millimeter anti-aircraft gun here. These are the guns that were, again, in the positions that we have more or less mapped out down here on these maps. So here's our battle area, and here are the actual positions, all these little red dots. There's the key. Long story short, we've got it pretty close to the exact location faced by 2nd Battalion, 8th Marines on the morning of day 2, D+1, 21 November 1943. And, oh yeah, we do have 2 Japanese tanks. There were Japanese tanks on the island. I think a grand total of 7 of them. Again, remember how tiny this island is. The parking lot in your apartment complex is probably bigger than this island. I'm joking around there, but not much. But yeah, these turrets also turn, because of course where the turret is pointing is important in a miniatures game. And we're trying to make this as close to a tabletop experience as we possibly can. Okay. Everything else is pretty much set up. I've got 28 battle rating counters, or battle rating, I should say. I should just say battle rating. 28 battle rating for the Japanese, 35 for the Americans. I'll explain what that is as we get into the rules a little bit. We have our battle rating counters here. Although we won't be drawing them virtually, we'll be drawing them old school style with the actual counters. This is one of my favorite things about the Battlegroup system. And again, we'll get into it as we get started. So we'll draw the counters blind here. I'm promising I'm not looking at the camera. And then whatever you draw is, like right there I got a 2. Whatever you draw, that's what you get. And then what we'll do is we will track it here on... here with these virtual counters here, battle rating counters here. We have our stats already set up for our different vehicles. These are very similar to the cards that you get with Battlegroup, so keep an eye out for those if you're ever interested in the system. And I think that is about it. Again, the table is 96 inches across, using that as our ruler. So there's 2 feet right there. You connect 4 of those, you're going to get all the way across the table, pretty much to the millimeter. And we're ready to get started. First thing you do is you roll, actually, which side is scouted? Neither side really has any kind of reconnaissance vehicle, so really nobody is out scouted. So yeah, Grumbling Grognard says, in my humble opinion, the Japanese should get the scout advantage for this engagement, just the way it feels. Japanese have no air power, but the Japanese do have the whole island pre-sighted for artillery, and again, this is the 2nd day of the engagement, so they've lost a lot of their observation points. You know what? I'll go for that. Hey, it gets us to draw a battle rating counter. So at the beginning of the game, you draw a battle rating counter. Alright, so I'm going to put that battle rating counter on camera. Again, I promise I'm not looking at the screen. Mix it up. This is the Marines suffering a disadvantage because the Japanese know the battlefield better than the Americans. Normally, this is determined by which side has more units that have the scouting or recon special rule. Like German armored cars, reconnaissance, Russian cavalry, stuff like that. This encourages the player in their list building to build a more realistic list. You don't just buy King Tigers. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and draw this, and okay, I'm looking back at the camera. What was it? It was a 3. So the Americans start off with 3 battle points down. That just means I'm going to call in more battleship artillery. All right, cool. Now we're going to go ahead and get started. The Marines are the attackers. The Marines definitely are going first. So let me get all these other dice out of here. The first thing you do is you roll for orders. In fact, you know what? Let's count this as a platoon size game. Sorry, everybody. So it's going to be 2d6 plus 3 officers. Okay, that's a little bit more realistic. All right, so we wind up with a total of 8 orders. Cool. So means I can command 8 different units. That's not quite as many as the Americans have. The Americans are going to have some units unactivated, but they didn't get the best roll, to be honest. So 8 units. Okay, how are we going to do this for each one? Where is my platoon command team? Here's my platoon command team. My platoon command team does have a line of sight on this big artillery position. I want that thing gone, and I want it gone now. All right, so the first thing you do is you do the request artillery fire order. You do the priority check. There's a roll for it. I just have to find it. Okay, there he is. Off-board artillery support request. First priority is a 3+. All right, cool. So that cruiser is, of course, supporting other platoons and companies here in 2nd Battalion, 8th Marines. So we have to see if we're actually going to get the artillery that we asked for. The answer is 4. Yes, the guy on the other side of the phone does pick up. We do have a fire mission. Awesome. All right, so we've done our priority check. Communication test. Okay, that also has the communications unit special rules, so he does get 1 reroll. Okay, he made it on the reroll, thank God. So these are just different things you can build into your lists. You can build a cheap list where you don't have all these special things. However, one thing I really do like about Battlegroup is that it encourages you to buy support assets, like a communication team. It can't attack anybody. It can't really defend anybody. Or it's a special rule you can buy for your command team. Again, this is my command team. But it does give you that second roll, which just saved my ass there. You saw it on camera. All right, we're going to go ahead and position the spotter around. Oh, God, I forgot how much I hate artillery in this game. I don't hate it. I mean, it's a great system. What I mean by that is how stressful it can be. Okay. I roll 1d6. A 1, it goes completely, God knows where it goes. A 2 to 5 means it misses by 2d6 inches. And a 6 means it's accurate. It lands within 1d6 inches. All right, so we're going to go ahead and call in that artillery. Come on, give me a good number. A 2. Okay, that's not great. That means it misses by 2d6 inches. Of course, now I get high rolls. All right, it's 9 inches away, and it's going to land 9 inches away from by 1 o'clock. All right, so 9 inches, that's not too bad. To 1 o'clock. We're trying to drop it right on there. It wound up landing 9 inches to 1 o'clock. All right, cool. So there's the artillery impact point. All right, cool. So let's spotter around and its final position. This will become the center point of the ensuing barrage. The spotter can now fire for effect, in which case the guns will open up. Spotter round is positioned badly. The spotter can cancel the fire mission. I'm not going to cancel the fire mission. This is a case that's closer to you than to the enemy. You can call in artillery on yourself, and you don't want to do that. So this is your opportunity to cancel that. So we determine the number of shots. We're going to make it a lot of shots. Roll for barrage accuracy. We just did that. Oh, you have to roll again. Okay, cool. Determine the number of shots. Okay, cool. So we'll say that like one turret is firing, so that's going to be 3 guns, and then again the open fire order in Battlegroup is everything fires twice, so we're going to have 6 total dice. This is really, really huge shells. This is like the Marine Alpha Strike. This is our balance against all these concrete bunkers and trenches that the Japanese have. So using the open fire order, each gun will fire 2 shots. Okay, so the number of rounds, the number of guns times 2, we just figured that out. Add to this any loader teams. Nope. Use 1d6 for each shot. Roll the dice on the barrage accuracy table. All right, here we go. We got 6 dice. We're looking for some 6s, please. I want some 6s. We have to do this. We got no. Oh, sorry. I should not count that dice roll because it wasn't on camera, but it was a pretty terrible roll. So this one is wild. It doesn't do anything. It lands God knows where. Ends in the water. 2 to 5 is pinning. That's pretty much the rest of them. The shell does not hit anything, but it lands close enough to harass and worry the enemy. It pretty much pins the enemy unit. And you have to get a 6 to actually start killing people. So that stinks. Those are all pins. Now they get cover saves. Okay, the cover saves are... Oops. Get rid of that, sorry. So they're inside that concrete bunkhouse, a concrete bunker. So they're going to get... Or blockhouse is what I meant to say. They're going to get some epic saves. Hardened cover, 2+. Yeah, this artillery mission, if I did it right, isn't going to do very much. That's why I have 2 Shermans deployed over there. I think I'm going to have to go assault that place. So there were 5 total hits. The Japanese in that bunker get saves. And they literally all saved. That heavy cruiser shell did absolutely nothing. That was disappointing. Okay, so that's 1 order down. I have 7 left. I'm going to go ahead and use my movement. My movement's super fast. Alright, so the order that those 2 Shermans are going to get is going to be what's called fire and maneuver. Sorry, maneuver and fire. Basically, you can move and fire, or you can fire and move, or you can move twice, or you can fire twice. So, yeah, that part's pretty simple. Each one of those is, of course, 1 order, so that's going to knock me down to... That's going to be 3 orders, because I'm giving this order to both of those tanks. Alright, cool. So the first tank is going to lose off of its 9 inches. 1. Cool. So he gets 8 inches of movement as he crosses that elevation line. I'm just going to measure front to front. In other words, the front of the miniature. Oops. Basically, I'm just trying to crest that swell. Let me not cheat here. Damn it. 8 inches. Alright, I'm just barely kind of breaching that swell there. I'll probably have to turn this way a little bit, but that's okay because my turret can swivel. Alright, because I want to leave room for this other guy, and this other guy might not roll as well on this roll here. Let's see how he handles that incline coming off the beach. He loses 4. He only gets to move 5 inches. So, yeah, because before, that's where my first Sherman was. You got to be careful. You can't have your tanks get in each other's way. In fact, I think I just did. Because now, yeah, the tank made it there, but he doesn't have line of sight on that pillbox without shooting into his friend's flank. So this Sherman, because he didn't get the greatest movement roll over that swell, he's going to have to engage somebody else. That's okay. There's a 70mm gun in a pit, in a little gun pit there that I can probably shoot at them. All right, so that's half of their movement, or half of their order. They're now going to take their second half of their order, which is the fire part. So again, you can move and shoot, or you can shoot and move, or move twice, or shoot twice. They couldn't shoot twice from where they were because they were, again, on this lower part of the beach, and they couldn't shoot over the swell and hit the pillbox or the bunkers or the gun pits that I want them to shoot. They did have to move at least a little bit. it's usually kind of unrealistic to set up a game where enemy forces already have line of sight on each other. Alright, so the first guy's range is just over 20 inches, it looks like, if I'm being a little bit more honest. It's like right at 20, but really the gun is back here. We'll call it over 20. Let's not be cheesy. Alright, so aimed fire. No area fire. I want aimed fire. Aimed fire to hit table. At 20 to 30 inches, it is for a AP shell or an HE shell. I'm going to go for an AP shell because I'm shooting into concrete. So the chance is a 4+. I do have to subtract 1 from my roll because I did move last turn. So I actually need a 3+. Actually, before that, I have to observe. I have to make sure that my gunner can see the target, or that he understood the order. It's very, very easy, guys, to sit here on a 20mm table and say, oh, this guy is right here, the bunker's right there. How can he not see it? So one of the things I like about Battlegroup is it enforces these observe rules. You have to spot the target before you shoot at it every single time. Because it's not as easy as pushing a little piece of plastic around a sand table and calling yourself some kind of friggin' colonel or something like that. That's not how real war works. It's some guy in a radio screaming to another guy who's sitting right next to a 600 horsepower diesel engine while machine gun bullets are bouncing off his turret and men are screaming for their mothers and trying to scoop their intestines. You know, it's a madness. It's absolute chaos. And he has to be able to spot that target and know what you're talking about. You don't see the target. You're a commander, or God knows where you are. You're trying to yell to that guy on the radio, you know, move forward 20 meters, move up the slope, move down there, pivot left, and see what you can shoot. And he's like, I don't see it. Well, he's looking at something else. But anyway, that's the whole point that's the whole point behind the spotting rules. Granted, this spotting rule is going to be pretty simple. It is a deployed gun. Well, it's a deployed gun in a bunker. So I'm going to go by the rules. I'm going to go strictly by the rules. I'm not going to be cheesy at all. This thing might be surprisingly hard to spot. Deployed gun, obscured. He needs a 3+. Whew, okay, he did spot it. The guy does understand what I'm talking about. So it's my lieutenant yelling to that sergeant who's commanding that tank, and the commander of that tank has to yell to the driver, get him over the swell, and then the bow machine gunner, and then the turret gunner, including the coax, they all have to get on the same page over these 1940s radios in the middle of a shitstorm. So all that went well. I did spot him. He does have the order, and now I just need a 3+ to fire and actually hit the target. Sweet. Okay, awesome. Oh, lordy. I may have actually taken out that gun. Okay, meanwhile, I'm going to do the other guy. It's already spotted. Now he just has to... actually, it's a different unit. He has to spot as well. Let me not be cheesy. He did spot it as well. Hits it, hopefully. Awesome. All right, my 2 Marine tanks are doing great so far. That's 2 hits on that bunker. All right. Mashby, I'm still a newbie with Battlegroup, but I'll keep my ears peeled while I paint some figures. Awesome. Thanks very much. Okay, I did just go over this rule. I'm really rusty, guys. I do apologize, especially vis-a-vis towed guns. I don't normally use a lot of towed guns in my Battlegroup games. So, or deployed guns or towed guns or whatever you want to call it. But there is a special rule for this. And again, that's why I put those 2 tanks over there. Aim fire with high explosive shells. Aim fire with armor penetration shells. Damage to deployed guns. All deployed guns count as having armor value of November. The results for armored vehicles remain the same. There is an additional -1 to hit with armor piercing shells. Oh, but they both beat that. So actually I needed 4-ups. Oh my god. Crap. Okay, but I did make it. So it was a 3. It was a 3+ to hit. Right? Oh no. 4+ to hit. Oh, one of those missed. I needed a 5-up to hit. What did I roll, guys? Does anyone remember what I rolled? I know I rolled a 5, and the other one was also a 5? Please tell me it was also a 5. I'm going to assume it was a 5 if no one contradicts me. Cool. Again, for people watching later on YouTube playback, if I screwed this up, I do apologize. Oh, what am I talking about? This guy wasn't even firing at that bunker. That guy had to fire at this. Okay, sorry. So this guy hit this bunker once. Am I even allowed to do that against a concrete bunker, though? You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to assign that bunker an armor value and not N. Because obviously the N is just for the literal metal gun. That thing is inside a concrete pillbox, so I'm going to crank that down a couple letters. So M is next, L is next, K, really? Did I make that too difficult? So here is the armor piercing chart. K versus the armor piercing value of the actual Sherman at this range, which is only a 5. Oh, man. All right, I got to get lucky one more time, guys. So I'm only a 5 at this range. You take the armor piercing value right here. You take the armor value of the vehicle, of the target right here. There's got to be something I'm getting wrong here. And you come up with a number. The number 5 versus K is 8. I need an 8 or above to do damage on it. Well, to eliminate it. If I tie, I manage to pin it down. Even if I don't tie, I can still pin it down, potentially. Reinforced cover, area fire, nope. Alright, aimed fire. Too tough. Because it's going to be a real pain to actually get that out of there. Until I get lucky on one of those cruiser shells. One of those cruiser shells gets lucky, and like basically an 8-inch shell hits it, then it's going to be awesome. But that's almost never going to happen because the artillery rules are a little too realistic for me to hope that that's going to happen. It doesn't say anything about armor-piercing shells versus hardened targets. So I may be missing a rule here, but I don't want to slow down the stream. Again, I'm just going to assume it has a K, and now I'm just hoping for the best. Which means, again, I cross-reference the Sherman's AP value, which at this range, again, I'm a little over 20 inches, so I use the 20 to 30 band. That becomes, let me zoom in a little bit so you can see it a little bit easier. So at 20 to 30 inches, it's a 5, and I am trying to hit a K or damage a K target. I need to roll an 8 or above. Oh, lordy, please. I want to get a 6. All right, I can still pin him down, though. Equal to is pinned, double less than is a glancing hit. Unit must make a morale test. Because I just got hit by a freaking request for artillery fire. Oh my god. Unit morale table. Okay, gun. Okay, gun. Here we go. Maybe they'll abandon the gun. Oh, it's only abandoned at the... Oh, never mind. Who knows? Maybe we can chase them away from that gun. All right, we're going to get and roll a dice here. A4. Of course they're okay. All right, nothing new there. Damn it. Okay, good news. I have already scored a hit on this other gun here. That gun is just in a gun pit. It's considered to have an N class. We just read the rule. Oops. We just looked it up that it has an N. It is less than 12 inches away. So is it less than 10? Let me get a more accurate measurement there. Again, this is the second Sherman trying to fire on this 70 millimeter gun. It is not less than 10, realistically. I mean, there's the 10 right there, but you guys can tell that's kind of bullshit. So I will call that more than 10. Again, I'm not trying to be cheesy here. So we already scored a hit. The damage at less than 10 is a 6 against an N. This is going to be a lot easier. It's not inside a concrete blockhouse. So 6 versus November is I have to roll a 4 or more on 2d6. Oh, come on! Oh, okay, that just happened. Watching a grown man play for itself. Tough years, thanks for all your support. I really appreciate it. Alright, that didn't work. That is 3 orders down. Well, I also have machine guns. On that, the machine guns, this first Sherman, its machine guns aren't going to do anything against that concrete bunker. This other Sherman, of course, can put machine guns on this 70 millimeter or 7 centimeter field howitzer. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. So we just did the 75 gun. That was a fat wad of nothing. But I do have 3 dice here, 3 dice here, and 5 dice there. Okay, so 3. All 3 machine guns are cutting loose. 3, 3. Those are the 230 cals and 50 and 5 dice for the 50 cal. Okay, now I got to go to small arms. Come on, you know where this is. Aimed fire to hit roll. Machine guns. We said it was just over 10, so it's going to be a 4+ to hit. Target. Oh, this is aimed fire, so not small arms. Okay, no worries. Alright. So, again, a 4+. So I'll take out everything that's not a 4+. Alright. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I can't destroy the gun this way, but I can hopefully destroy the crew. Now, the crew does get a cover save, and they are going to have some bonus in their cover save due to their position. So they're inside that trench. We'll call it hard cover to be in a trench. This is the kind of discussion you have with your opponent before the game begins. Like, what's hard cover? What's reinforced cover? What's hard, reinforced, or hardened? I would have come up with a different name than that. But anyway, hard cover. 4+. So you make a save for every hit, and then the number of hits that fail their save is going to be a figure removed from that crew. So again, over here to Mr. Gun Crew. Sweet! Literally, there was 1 save. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There were 5 hits. Alright, we actually did something. Hallelujah. There are only 3 crewmen in that unit. Actually, before I do this, and I screw up my table. Call this turn 1. Alright, so 1, 2, 3 figures. Again, the gun has to have a crew. There's the Japanese gun crew. And that is 3 figures. Boink, eliminated. That gun can no longer fire at me. Alright, cool. That completes order number 3. This guy is already in line of sight. I'm going to take a double fire order. Oops. I meant to move this to turret. He's definitely more than 10. All right, so he's going to take just the open fire order. He's going to go ahead and fire twice. Does he observe that machine gun position? Survey says yes, he does. Does he observe this? Well, let me take that shot first. All right, so he's going to go ahead and take that shot against this position here. He said aimed to hit for a HE shell was 3. I did not move, and I'm not firing an HE shell. I'm sorry, I'm not firing an AP shell. So no penalties. I need a 3+. I missed with the first one. Again, I get 2 shots. I hit with the second one. All right, we go back over to this shell, or to this chart. This thing has an HE effect of 4 dice, and I have to get a 4+. Is the effect of the 75mm HE shell in a, oops, damn it, stop doing that. An HE shell in the, against the Japanese position there. Okay, that is, what did I say, 4+? That's going to be 2 hits. Now, what's that rule? Aimed fire with armor-piercing shells. Aimed fire with high explosive shells. Damage to deployed guns. Each hit rolls versus the crew to make a cover save. Instead of the hit, any damage... Okay, if you roll a 6, which I've rolled 2 of them there, then the gun itself must make a cover save or be destroyed. That is on page 30 of the rulebook. Alright, awesome. So I got 2 chances to destroy the gun. We said the gun was under... what do we say? 4+ cover. Yeah. Okay, they failed both saves. That gun is tanked. Sweet. I'll take that every day of the week, twice on Sunday. Alright, he smoked. That's 4 orders, because that tank is now done. The tank go ahead and fires his machine guns, and the machine guns are what takes out that loader that was part of the gun. Actually, I think in Battlegroup, when you take out the gun, the crew goes with it. Although I can't be sure. That was a unit eliminated. Technically, I believe this was a unit eliminated as well. The gun is still there, but the crew is not. That gun cannot fire without a crew. So, and the Marines aren't going to capture it and turn it against the Japanese. The other Japanese infantry are trained to use the gun. I'm going to go ahead and I'm pretty sure this is how it works. Again, later on YouTube, guys, if I'm doing this wrong, please correct me. So what this is going to do, this is going to force the Japanese player to draw 2 battle rate encounters. Not looking at the camera. Okay, I've got 2 counters in my hand, and those are double 3s. Sweet. Take those out of the box, because you don't want to keep drawing the same 3 over again. Normally, in a physical table, you don't do it this way. You don't have to worry about taking the counters, because you literally stack these up in front of your opponent, face down. So right now, all the American player would know is that the Japanese player had to draw 2. And once he hits a total of 28, he loses. He never knows, really, how close the Japanese are to defeat. Meanwhile, you know damn well how close you are to defeat. You hear people screaming over the radio. You hear calls for stretcher bearers. You hear all this horrible stuff going on. You know exactly how badly hurt you are. But all you see of the enemy are like these shapes. Once in a while, you might see a flash of flame. You might hear somebody yelling in Japanese. And this is what leads to time and time and time and time and time and time and time. Is this monotonous yet? And time again. If only the attackers knew how close they were to victory. And then they pulled out. Basically what happens in that game in game terms, in that battle in game terms, is the enemy player, the attacking player ran out of battle rate encounters. Even though the enemy was like 1 more point away. He had a total of 27, but this guy didn't know that. Or his commander didn't know that. Meanwhile, he hit 37. And he has 37, he's 2 in the hole, he's at 27, he has 1 left. His colonel calls him up on the radio and says, pull out, you failed. Come back and prepare to be demoted. So, okay, we got the artillery strike in and the 3 tanks. Hello, Ben Johnson. Welcome to the stream. Awesome. Thanks very much. I'm glad you like it. Yeah, Mutant Snake Eyes. I just got a terrible roll. Finally, a good roll for Jim. Yeah, I got some good rolls. But then I got one really, really bad one. That's okay. Okay, the Marines are also suffering from a bit of a crappy check. Orders check. So I don't have that many. So I don't think I'm going to launch like a general assault right now. Because that squad is 1 unit. That machine gun team is 1 unit. I only have 4 orders left. That squad is 1 unit. That squad is 1. That machine gun team is 1 unit. That squad is another unit. I'm already out of orders, and then I have more units after that. So I think I'm just going to use this turn to keep whaling away with the units that are kind of already in place. And basically a whole bunch of open fire orders. And hopefully I won't get tanked too hard. Hopefully next turn I do a little bit better on the order phase. Okay, so LAV will get a, or LVT, sorry, LVT will get an open fire order, open fire order, open fire order. Basically, there are 3 Marine rifle squads and a couple machine gun teams. I basically put a platoon. Marine rifle companies would organize into obviously 3 platoons, and then there was an independent, not really independent, there was an integral, sort of the opposite of independent, an integral weapons platoon attached to every company. This is part of what made Marines so badass, besides the fact that they were Marines. But they just, wherever they went, they had an insane amount of firepower with them. This isn't even the entire rifle platoon. Sorry, the entire weapons platoon, because again, this is only 1 platoon of the company. There's going to be a 2nd and a 3rd platoon off the map somewhere, and they have to draw some resources, support assets from that support or from that weapons section. Or no, it's not a section, it's a platoon, weapons platoon within the company. For those of you who have ever seen The Pacific on HBO, that's where the character Sledge comes from. He is a 60mm mortar guy. He's part of that weapons platoon that is part of a rifle company. But for now, I'm just going to go ahead and spend, I've spent 4 so far. I'm going to spend 3 more on open fire orders on these LVTs. There are a metric hell ton of LVTs with a lot of machine guns in there. So yeah, here we go. No cannon on those LVTs, but 2 30 cals, 2 50 cals per Amtrak. Tons of machine guns. The problem is the Japanese are entrenched, and some of them are also undercover, so it's going to be tough. This guy's going to fire on this rifle team here. Clearly, I'm between 10 and 20. Nice thing about Battlegroup number 792 is that all the ranges are set up in bands. So you're never like, unless you happen to be like right at 19.9 inches or something, the vast majority of the time you're not like arguing with your opponent about what range something is. It's between 10 and 20, this is the number. If it's between 5 and 10, this is the number. If it's between 30 and 40, this is the number. You know, to relax. Enjoy your Fruit Loops. All right, so again, it's going to be 4 because we're talking about, we're doing aimed fire. We're not trying to pin anybody down. We're trying to kill people here. Machine guns at between 10 and 20 is 4+. Nobody moved, and I'm not firing AP shells or HE shells, so no modifiers there. And this is all going to be twice because I'm using the open fire order. That is 5. Do I have that many dice, Andy? Holy crap, maybe not. Again, Marines do not play around when it comes to just taking a lot of firepower into combat. Alright, so this, I know you can't see, but I got a shit ton of dice here. This, twice. First fire order, oh, first I have to observe. You guys got to keep me honest on the rules here. I'm going to go ahead and observe for my first fire. Infantry, concealed. Ooh, that's going to be tough, actually. Infantry concealed, that hasn't fired yet. Obscured infantry of 4+. Alright. Oh boy. Good news is I get 2 chances. Alright, come on. Observe. I got him observed. I can now use both my fire phases in my open fire order to shoot at those Japanese troops. Make sure I got the right number of dice again. It's 5 plus 5 plus 3 plus 3. Okay. 2 30 cals, 2 50 cals. Open fire order 1. Only 4 ups count. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Remember that number? Again, open fire order, you shoot twice. Oof, that's not too hot. 1, 2, actually, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So it's going to be a total of 13 hits, 13 saves. The Japanese do get a pretty good save because they are in a trench. I'll give them a +1. Also, no, it's 4 plus. We said. Let's call it 3 plus because some of them are in trees. What did I say was the total number of hits? 13. So their difficulty on the save drops from a 4 for trench. I'll give them an additional 1 for the trees, so now it's a 3. 3 plus for a save. Did not save. Did not save. Did not save. Did not save. So that's going to be 4 hits. That fire team is wiped out. 1, 2, 3, 4. Those guys are shot up by just a mass fusillade of fire from these LVTs. Just tons of machine guns firing down at them. I'm starting to think those LVTs might be a little overpowered. But that's okay. I'm gonna lose half my company just trying to take out that one 5-inch gun. That thing is a literal brick shit house, man. I've got a cruiser, a heavy cruiser offshore, and I've just kind of crunched through the math and the rules again. I don't think that heavy cruiser can touch that. And how many times in World War II do we see that? The Navy bombards the beach, bombards the beach, bombards the beach. The bunkers still aren't taken. It's not until either the Army or the Navy or the Marines land on the beach, outflank it, and attack it from the sides, are those bunkers finally cleared. There were 12 American battleships involved in this operation, and it still took the Marines 3 days to clear this island, and it's insane. So to say the Japanese were dug in is an understatement. All right, let's wrap things up here because we don't want this to take too long. Same deal here. Cool. Walkabout Games, hello, how you doing? Mashby is painting some Imperial Guards in 6mm by listening to the stream. Tuffy Ears, meanwhile, is painting deep ones while I watch. Awesome. Everybody's getting work done, including, I'm assuming, Sitrep 6, who we all kind of had a chuckle at in yesterday's podcast when he said that he was going to get his Works Drift Army painted up in just like 2 months. Actually, a little less than 2, no, like 62 days or whatever it works out to be. By the end of that first day, he had 10 figures in 28mm, pretty much 80% painted. So, if he can do 10 miniatures every 2 days and maintain that, okay, take a day off because, we do have to work and so on. If he can get like 20 miniatures painted a week, yeah, he'll have it. Because again, he still has to build the table, he still has to build the buildings, and the corral, and the sandbag pile, and so on and so forth. So it's not just painting a ton of miniatures. Alrighty. So here we go with the second one. Okay, do I observe? Again, it's a 4 plus because infantry concealed is tough to spot. I'm getting good rolls on my observation check. My Marines ate their carrots last night. We see the enemy, we just can't always dig them out of those positions. Okay, so 3 for 30 caliber 1, 3 for 30 caliber number 2, 5 for 50 caliber number 1, and 5 for 50 caliber number 2. I might reduce those LVTs. Those LVTs, those are the actual historical machine guns, but they might not all be able to point the same direction or something. I don't know. These guys are starting to feel a little OP'd. Again, I need a 4 up to score a hit. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Cool. Up 7. Alright. Rinse, repeat. Come on out of there, please. Oh, one dice fell out of the box. Reroll that. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4. Another 11. Holy crap. Plus the 7 I had already. That's 18 saves. Again, we're giving the Japanese a 1-point bonus for those trees on the save. Come on, straighten out, Mr. Box. But still, 18 freaking dice. I'm just going to roll this 3 times. So we were calling it 3+. Miss, miss. That's 1. Miss, miss. That's 2. That's 4 so far. And 3 more misses. That's a total of, what did I say, 2, 2, and 3 is 7 casualties. There's only 4 figures there, really. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, that is the entire Japanese squad except for their commander. So now we see what was called in Battlegroup the last man standing rule, where basically he runs away. Or he's helping the wounded or something. He panics, he just collapses into a puddle of catatonic shock. The stuff that happens. Almost never will a unit literally just stand there the whole time. There's also something called, hold on, the fallback order, which I almost never use. But let me make sure I get this right. Fallback. Infantry caught in a hail of fire can opt to avoid heavy casualties by using the fallback special rule. If any infantry unit is in the open, and it takes 1 or 2 more casualties from enemy units' fire, okay, they weren't in the open, never mind. They were already in a trench. They can choose to fall back. They will take a single casualty, but instead of other losses, their opponent can use to move it backwards. Vehicles cannot end neither the crew or the deployed gun or the mortar. Okay. Note that infantry unit cannot choose to fall back if it comes under fire from which it takes no or only a single casualty, is pinned, or if it already has cover. Never mind. All right, we are not being illegal. That's only if you're in the open. So now the now the last man standing order kicks in. Basically, when you get down to the last guy of a unit, and you have to be very careful what constitutes a unit. That's one of the great things about Excel, is I was able to group the guys together. So let me see how far it'll let me back up. All right, so I backed up a little bit. Notice when I select that officer, the whole squad, so I know exactly what that unit was. These guys do not count as part of that unit. These guys do. So basically, this is a squad with a leader and 2 4-man fire teams. The 2 4-man fire teams have now been duly eliminated by mass marine machine gun fire. And that is now left with 1 unit left, or 1 figure left in the unit. Last man standing rule kicks in, which means he basically boogies out of here. He's Japanese. He probably didn't retreat. He definitely didn't surrender. But what he's probably doing is either helping the wounded or evacuating machine guns or trying to do the best he can to save what's left of his squad. He's combat ineffective. So now that counts as 1 complete unit eliminated. So you don't draw a counter for every man that was shot down. You have to do that for every unit. So again, Battlegroup, you do have to kind of keep track of, and this is easy depending on how you base your figures and stuff like that, but you do have to kind of keep an eye on what units, or what figures constitute a given unit. Alright, so here we go. That was a 4. Keep my big thumb out of the way there. Cool. So the Japanese are already almost halfway to their breaking point. Again, I think those you know what? I'm going to go ahead and call it. Those LVTs are overpowered. I'm going to say 250 cals in the back, 230 cals in the rear, because it's pretty much on 4 pencils. So at any given time, only 2 can fire, so the 250s. So I'll reduce from 16 total dice in a fire pool down to 10. 250 cals in the front. They're all pintle mounted, so I'm not breaking any rules here. I'm just probably being a little bit more realistic. What I'm also doing very well so far as the Marine player, or I'm just getting damn lucky on my observation checks. The Marines have spotted the Japanese the first time every time. Here we'll go ahead and we'll increase the, so now this LVT is going to try and fire at this machine gun position here, or this half squad. And it's been a 4+, now we're going to make it a 5+, because he's, or maybe he doesn't even have line of sight at all. I didn't really specify how big that trash pile was. You know what, let's 4-up it. 3, he can't see him. Okay, so instead he's going to try and pencil fire his way and hit these guys. He's going to scrape past that building. We'll see if he can even see that past those trees. Let's 4-up it again. 6, okay, this time he can see him. Now notice that only, so this little fire team of 4 guys here, I'll zoom in a little bit so we can see what's going on here. So we're talking about these 2 machine guns. So now that other 50 cal won't be able to hit. It's just going to be that 50 cal and that 30 cal. So now he's down to 8 dice. And he's only going to be able to target some of these guys. He won't be able to hit him because the building's in the way. So even though it's all part of the same unit, if I roll like 5 kills, that 4th guy is not going to be killed. Alright, so now we're going to go to our observation phase. Again, obscured infantry, I need a 4+. Barely made it, but I still made it. Marines are looking for the Japanese, that's for damn sure. So again, 150 cal, that's 5, and 130 cal, that's 3. Here we go. I'm still over 10 inches, so we're talking about 4-ups. Ooh, 1, 2, 3, 4. Second fire. 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 total hits. That's a little bit more reasonable. Oh, look at that. I got 8 dice already in the tray. All right, now the Japanese are going to save on 4-ups. Because again, they're not in a trench. They are not in a trench. They are not in a trench. They are in trees. That's a different cover rating. So we were doing hard for trenches. Now we're going to do soft for trees. And we're going to knock it up to a 5+. But there's only 8 total hits. And again, I max out at 3 because only 3 Japanese soldiers are visible from that LVT's position. Fail, 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 fail. Yeah, they're all dead. However, again, that 4th guy is not visible. 1, 2, 3, toast. This prone rifleman is still okay because there was no line of sight between him and the LVT in question. Also note that this does not draw a counter because there's plenty in that Japanese squad left. There's another whole fire team and an officer. So, now I do have to check if the rest of it is pinned. It's not often my Marines shoot at somebody and they actually survive. I don't usually have to go to the pinning rules. Usually it's just, Alright, aim fire with small arms and machine guns. Damage to infantry. For each cover save failed, the target unit must remove a model as a casualty. If a unit is destroyed, then a battle counter is drawn for its loss. A target unit may then be requested to make a morale test. Okay, when do I have to make a morale test? Oy, give me 1 second here, guys. I know this isn't the most amazing part of the stream, but again, I do want to. This is not one of Oriskany's, weird, like home-cooked, home-baked design games. I'm trying to do Battlegroup as if it were a real 20mm like convention tournament game. I'm trying to actually do this right. Okay, so the last man standing rule, we already know about that. Units will rarely fight to the last man, often when they will be given permission to withdraw before being completely wiped out. It is likely that, alright. Often they will be given permission to withdraw before being completely wiped out, but it is also likely that the last man will simply take to his heels. If an infantry unit is reduced to a single man and is also pinned, the survivor runs off or hides or both. Remove him from play. The unit counts as destroyed. Okay, he wasn't pinned. I may have to put that one Japanese officer back. Alright, I'm not 100% sure, but I'm going by the letter of the law. That one Japanese leader is back in that trench where I took him off. Also, I mean, the Japanese don't run away. Where are they going to run to? The next island? These are Japanese Marines, man. Unit morale. Units will really fight the last man. Most will rapidly become combat ineffective as casualties mount. Some men will just become too scared to fight on and will abandon the battle and seek the shelter of a ditch and stay there. Okay, that's wonderful. What's the actual... An infantry squad or team must make a morale test if it takes any casualties. Okay, I finally found the rule. Veteran and elite units can ignore one of the pinned results. Okay, so I gotta make a morale test. We'll say these guys are definitely elite. Or at the very least veteran. So I make a D6 on this one, and because this unit is veteran, number 2, veteran and elite units can pass. So yeah, they basically for them a 3 is okay. As well as passing the morale test, if they roll a 6, the unit is inspired. The unit immediately gets an attempt at beyond the call of duty test. Oh man, that the other Japanese might get fired up because they took losses. Like, oh hell no, you didn't. Let's see what happens. So I'm going to roll on this table here. I get to ignore, the Japanese get to ignore the pinned result on a 3. So basically a 1 or 2 pins them. If I get a 6, they get a beyond the call of duty test. And I'll explain what that is if it comes about. Alright, so 1d6. They get a 2. Ooh, they are still pinned. Even though they're elite Japanese Marines. Alright, I will take a pinned counter. Alright, so guys, is this like what... Is this more like what some of you guys are looking for in our content? I know you guys were getting tired of Panzer Leader and Valor and Victory and Air War C-21 and Naval Command and Battle Carry Sabo and Sitrep Skirmish. We had plenty of variety, but I think people were asking about more miniature style games. So hopefully, again, 2/3 of the games I just mentioned are technically miniature games, but we're trying to pay attention to the feedback. We're trying to give you guys what you want. All right, so that's 7 missions. I have 1 order left. You know what? This fire team here, this squad, is going to try and take out this Japanese machine gun team to use up my American fire. All right, so number 1, does he observe? Infantry concealed 4+. Oh my God, I have not missed a single observation check yet. That's awesome. 1, 2. Oh, let me see exactly what's in here. 1, 2 for the BAR, 3, 4, 5 for the rifles and the 1 submachine gun. So it's a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for this fire team. Let me measure the range. It is, okay, between 10 and 20. So, infantry. Nope, wrong table. Small arms at 10 to 20 is 4+. Oh man, that's the same as machine guns. Okay, so I got 5 dice for the first fire team. Or 5 dice, I need to get a 4+. Holy crap, man, the Marine dice are doing pretty well. That's 3. Second fire, because again, it's an open fire order. 1, 2, 3. That's a total of 6 hits. Alright. And, was it 6 hits or 5 hits? I can't remember. I'm going to say it was 5. I know that last one was 3. Was that first one 2 or 3? Hello, Vorpal Bite. The Bills need some good rolls. We're getting trashed. Well, Ben, wasn't your last game like 40-10 or something like that? It was absolutely a disaster. Mr. Howard, hello. Welcome to the stream. Agreed, says Howard Wood. Your skills at reproducing all this stuff never ceases to amaze me. It's just a lot of work. I don't have any magic powers. It's just a shit ton of work. I wish if I was skillful, it wouldn't take so long. But thanks very much. I definitely appreciate it. Especially since it was, a lot of work. Okay. So we decided on 5 total hits. That's going to be 5 saves for the Japanese. They are in a trench, so they get forced to save. Save, 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 save. 4 saves, only 1 hit. Unfortunately, there's only 2 men in that team. So once I kill one, the last man standing rule says the other guy has to be pinned. Oh, he has to make a morale check. I'll make a morale check for this guy. Because then if you're the last man in the unit and you are pinned, so for this Japanese commander over here, 6, he is not pinned. The last man standing rule does not apply for this Japanese commander. This last Japanese machine gunner over here, same thing. He is elite, so he gets to use the elite rules on that morale test table for infantry. Come on, get back on the camera, please. 1, he is now pinned down. He's the last man in the unit. The last man standing rule kicks in. That's an eliminated unit. That's another counter draw. Not looking at the camera. Not looking at the camera. A breakdown. There's proof that I was not looking at the camera. All right, so the Japanese caught a break. They got the breakdown counter. So that is obviously 0 points off of their battle rating. So luck stroke number 1. Luck stroke number 2, a marine vehicle just broke down. The Japanese player gets to pick which one. I am going to pick this first Sherman over here because I want to make it as difficult as possible to take this little bunker. So I'm going to say that I'm going to try to apply that breakdown counter against that unit. So you play the breakdown counter on that unit. Okay, there's a table I gotta consult here. Okay, the breakdown thing says, in battle, moving off-road and pushing equipment to its limits, vehicles can often suffer mechanical problems. Immediately play this counter on an enemy vehicle, but not an aircraft. Roll a d6 on the breakdown table below. If your battle group contains any vehicles with the unreliable special rule, you have to play... Okay, blah, 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 blah. So the breakdown table rule. 1, no effect. Something is clanking, but the vehicle will struggle on until the end of the game. 2 to 3, immobilized. The vehicle sputters to a stop. It is immobile, for the rest of the game. It cannot, or unless it can be repaired. There are repaired units you can buy in Battlegroup. I have none on this table. 6 is a severe breakdown. So 1, it's no effect. 2 to 5, it's immobilized. A 6 is severe breakdown. The vehicle breaks down so badly, perhaps catching fire as well, the crew abandons it. It counts as destroyed. Oh no, let's hope it's not that. Right, so the Japanese player rolls a d6. A 4. Alright, so that vehicle is immobilized. I don't know how my counters got squeezed like that. They were all the same size. How did that happen? Huh. They were all just 1.5. That was dumb. Anyway, I'm just being anal retentive. Sorry about that. So that's a breakdown counter that they drew. And that Sherman is smoking for the rest of the game. Technically, I should also, by the way, speaking of these Shermans, be tracking their ammunition. As you can see, now you don't track machine gun ammunition, but you do have to track, where are you at? You have to track ammunition. So you get 9 shots. It's really 9 salvos. Obviously, a Sherman carries more than 9 shells, but in game terms, you get 9 salvos. Salvos probably like 5 shells or so, maybe more. But before the game starts, you have to load out your tanks. And you have to say, okay, how much that's going to be HE, how much that's going to be AP, what is in my enemy's list? Do I know what's in my enemy's list? And because obviously HE shells are much more effective against infantry, soft targets, towed guns, buildings, bunkers, barns, trenches, etc. And AP shells are much more effective against enemy tanks. If I was going by the real rules here, I would probably say, okay, my Shermans are probably 3 armor piercing, 6. In fact, let's go ahead and say that 3 armor piercing and 6 HE, because I'm not expecting to fight too many Japanese tanks today. All right, that's going to conclude the American turn. They have nothing pinned, and yeah, I've used up all 8 of my orders now. Technically, I have the rest of this squad before I say that. But they don't have anything that they can really see, so never mind. Okay, we now go to the Japanese turn. You said 2d6 plus 3 officers. Holy crap, Japanese are going to get to move and fire all their stuff. All the things. Because they have 13... Oop, that's supposed to be a 3. They have, again, it's 2d6 for a platoon-sized game, plus there's 3 commanders, there's 3 officers in the Japanese army, because that one guy did not run away, so yeah, they still have 3 officers. They get 13 orders. I promise you, they don't have 13 units left on the table. So, good news is, they get to move everything, so we don't really have to track it. Let's just work our way from left to right. Alright, here's what I'm afraid of. Open fire order with this beast. Realistically, I don't even know how much of an arc of fire this thing would have. But you know what? The Japanese have gotten beaten up already so badly. They're pretty much already at 10 out of 28. They're almost to halfway destroyed already. The Americans also got to set up with already, pre-existing lines of sights on the Japanese. Again, guys, just an experiment. Normally, in a real game, you wouldn't set up forces that already have line of sight on enemy forces. That gives the attackers just way too much of an advantage. But to kind of counterbalance that, we're going to have this guy pin over here, or pivot over that way. He's going to try to observe that American tank. All right, that American tank is going to be pretty easy to spot because, in fact, that might be automatic. Vehicle in the open, and he has fired. So vehicle in the open firing, it's automatic. All right, cool. So we're going to go ahead and take 2 shots with this 5-inch gun. 5-inch gun at 10 to 20. Oh god, maybe I shouldn't have done this. We want to have a fun stream. Let's just have a fun stream. Dun, dun, dun. Again, I'm sure I'm doing some things wrong here. In a more realistic setting, that cannon would not have that kind of arc of fire out of that casemate. But again, I think the Japanese got a little shortchanged on the initial setup. The points are all balanced out, but on the initial setup, I think they got hosed a little bit. Also, those LVTs were just a little too overpowered. So I'm going to sort of, what's the word here? Compensate a little bit. I'm going to give the Japanese a break to kind of balance how they got a little bit of the short end of the stick during the American Marine turn. So, before we do that, now that things are getting serious, let's change the sound effects a little bit. Jen, let me know if this new sound effect is a little too loud. In fact, I'm almost sure it is. So we'll turn it down a little bit. Alright. Now it sounds a little bit more like Tarawa. Alright, cool. So we're the 5-inch gun is going to take an open fire order. He has the Marine tank already spotted. That is going to be 10 and 20. Between 10 and 20. Does he even have any AP shells? No, because he's a coastal defense gun. He only has HE. So he might actually survive this. Because the front armor on that Sherman is a K. So 5 versus K, yeah, he's got to roll an 8+ to penetrate me. That sounded kind of dirty. Tough ears, go ahead and make your joke now. Alright, so first thing we gotta do is make sure we can hit. 10 and 20 with an HE shell is 3+. The target did move last turn. Target is not obscured. Firer kind of moved. Nah, we won't be that bad. We won't be that cheesy. He swiveled the gun, but the gun itself didn't move. but the target definitely moved, so we're going to crank that up to a 4+. All right, shot number 1 is a hit. Shot number 2 is a miss. All right, so the shot number 1 hit. Again, he needs to roll an 8+ to penetrate the armor. How do we know that? It's a huge gun. Maybe I should have fired it at infantry instead, but it's a huge gun. It's only got HE ammunition. So it's a 5-inch high explosive shell, has armor penetration of 5. It's meant to shoot at like enemy ships and stuff like that. It's a coastal defense gun. It's not really an anti-tank weapon. And so it doesn't have the best ammo. So you cross-reference armor piercing value of 5 versus armor of K, and you end up with that 8. So let's see if the Japanese gunners can beat an 8+. A 6, they failed. All right, so less than is glancing hit. Unit must take a morale test. These are Marines. We'll call them veterans. Vehicle. I'm using this chart right here. Who knows? Maybe the Marines might bail out of the tank. All right, 1d6 for the Marine morale test. So the shell hit the tank, blew up, made a hell of a lot of noise, and the Marines in there might freak out a little bit. Let's see what happens. We're going to go ahead and only abandon if the vehicle is already pinned. Okay, so they won't bail on the tank on the first try, but maybe they'll be pinned down. Let's see. 1 or 2. 5. Marine armor, or Marine morale is okay. Okay, that wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. Machine gun team is going to fire on these Marines in the trench. They are small arms at a smidge over 10 inches. Walkabout Games is on Twitch. Yeah, we saw that. Hello, crew. Yeah, I said hello to everybody, Jen. Thanks for looking out, though. Did I miss the opportunity for a joke? Yeah, tough years. I was making a joke about the penetration value of the Japanese. So I was like, the Japanese need a 6 to penetrate me. And I was like, oh, God. I'm waiting for somebody in the peanut gallery to jump on that one. I'm just kidding. I'm just playing around. Everyone's here to have fun. Even if it's at my expense. I promise it's fun. The way my Marines are doing so far, I am actually pretty happy. The only bad thing that's happened to me so far is this tank broke down. Too much salt water in the engine. Tough Ears says, oh, cool, I'm enjoying it. I appreciate it. Spam bot. Thanks, Tough Ears. I see the spam bot. I don't really have a moderator to take care of that right now. But, whoa. I saw Walkabout Games was here. I did not see where someone pulled a knife on you? Holy shit, man. I got a day off. Some jackass pulled a knife on me. Hell no, dude. That ain't cool. All right, cool, Tough Ears. I'm glad that this is you know, again, we're trying to we really are trying to listen to some of the feedback. And we've been doing so much Valorant Victory and Panzer Leader lately that trust me, even I get bored of it. I was like, especially the Valorant Victory after that playtesting project for Stalingrad. I was like, dude, it was almost 50 back-to-back games of Valorant Victory. Valorant Victory is a fantastic game, but you play it 50 times in 2 months. Yeah, it starts to get a little. It starts always the same armies even. It starts to get a little old. Okay, so this is a Japanese machine gunner. Japanese machine guns. DP machine gun. Yeah, Japanese weapons were terrible. Really. I'm going to count that as a DP light machine gun because it's a magazine-fed machine gun. I think it's the Type 97 machine gun. Let me test my knowledge on that. Let me go ahead and wiki, or maybe it was Type 99. Nope. Oh, Type 9. No, Type 99. Come on, yeah, Type 99 light machine gun. So it's basically a Bren gun, i.e. magazine loaded, i.e. no belt, i.e. a pretty small bullet, 7.7 millimeter by 58. It's a tiny little It's a tinker toy, to be frank. So it's only going to get that DP machine gun bonus. It's not a Maxim Belfit. It's not a Dushka. It's not an MG34 or 42. So, yeah. Tell you what, though, I will count his little assistant there to help him out. So that's going to be 1 point for the rifle, 2 points for the machine gun, 3 total points. He needs a 4+. That is going to be 1 hit. The Marines get a 1 save. Here we go. It's a 4+ to save because the Marines are also in a trench. So different color dice so we don't get confused. Oh, they fail. We have a Marine pinned down unit, and that's for the squad. That squad is now pinned down. Pinning, like in a lot of good games, is really, really important. At the beginning of the turn, the Marines are going to have to draw a battle rate encounter to unpin some of their units. So that was just that machine gun team. Okay, cool. So those 3 guys are pinned down. What am I talking about pinned down? He failed his save. He's dead. I have to eliminate a unit from that position. Sorry. He's eliminated. Sorry guys, I'm cheating. And now that he's suffered a casualty, we have to see if he's pinned. He's not pinned. Even worse, he's actually lost a guy. Alright, I'll move that off to the side for a second. Apologies for that. These guys are all dead. This clown is like, what am I doing? Oh, he gets to shoot twice because he took an open fire order. Sorry. I just realized that this guy never rolled to observe that team. We'll assume he made it. Again, the Japanese kind of need a break today. Alright, but their second fire in their open fire order. You know what? Yeah. So, here we go. Again, 4+. He only got 1 hit. Does the American make his cover check? Another American shot down. Another pin test. He's also pinned. Okay. So that, he's pinned, and he's the last unit in that unit. He's the last figure in that unit. Last man standing rule because he just failed his cover save. Last man standing rule. We have 1 Marine unit down. Oh no! One of my 30 caliber belt-fed machine gun teams just got eliminated by this Japanese. I guess that's what I get for making fun of the Japanese machine guns. He said, "Oh yeah." Speaking of machine gun fire, if that sound effect playing in the background, if that's too loud for me compared to my voice, let me know. Cast a resurrection spell, I wish. That is a 4. So, yeah, that's not good. That's not good. That's not okay, America. I love the battle rating mechanic system. Again, this stream is flat out, fully admitted, not doing it justice. Because, again, in a real game, these counters, obviously it's 2 players, and these counters, you hold them in like your cupped hands, and then you put them face down on the table. So the other player knows, he knows that this breakdown counter was played. But he knows the Japanese player has drawn 3 battle rating counters. He does not know the values on those counters. He could be down 15. He could be down 3. He's probably somewhere in the middle. Here we're looking at 10. We know that the American player has drawn 2 counters, but the Japanese player would not know what that is. And guys, if you've never tried Battlegroup, the tension that gives the game, all that normal gaminess that you see in a lot of games. Oh, if I only take this one last objective hex, if I kill 1 more guy, I know the enemy loses because I know the victory conditions ahead of time. You don't get that in Battlegroup, man. And on top of that, the other reason I really like it is it gives a fantastic way to balance the scenario. It gives a fantastic to give the Japanese a break. Say the Japanese were getting absolutely curb stomped. You'd be like, hey guys, would you mind if we gave a Japanese 32 battle rating? You can adjust the balance in a scenario like that. Now the actual list in Battlegroup, when you buy the campaign books and you're building your list, each and every unit that you put into your list does have a specific battle rating value, and it gets added into your total. That's how you arrive at what your battle rating should be. But the game also offers you some hacks, depending on how, I won't say anal retentive, but yeah, how anal retentive either you want to be or you don't mind being. Okay, so the Japanese are done with that unit. This guy's all by himself. What's he going to do? He can't really see anybody. You know what? I want to save this guy because he technically counts as an officer. And he is adding 1 to the Japanese order dice. So I'm going to give him a double movement order. So that is, infantry always move at 5 in this game. So when you have a double order movement, he's going to move 10 inches. Oh my god, Risky's playing a miniatures game. He just barely gets into that building undercover. So rather than have him, stand there, draw his samurai sword, and make a stupid last stand, he is adding 1 to the overall Japanese order dice. So I'm going to go ahead and preserve him. Officers are important. So that was 3 orders. Again, the Japanese have more orders than they have units, so I'm not really going to worry about it. We're going to move some Japanese tanks. Okay, so these 2 Japanese tanks, man, that really annoys me. Sorry, guys. Indulge and forgive my anal retentive nature here for just a moment. Which is supposed to be squares, not rectangles, damn it. Okay. They have an off-road movement rate of 9 inches. So I'm going to give them a... Battlegroup also has rules where about reversing and turning and things like that. It doesn't get too serious. Basically, you have to move the tank generally in a forward direction. If you want to legit, what's the word? If you want to legitimately turn a tank around or back it up, there are reversing rules, and you have to All right. The problem is I'm not really going to get a line of sight. I'll get a line of sight on one of them. Alright, so this tank does this, moves his 9 inches, turns his turret, because, yeah, my turrets can turn. I'm going to keep bragging about that until someone tells me to shut up. And he's going to take an open fire, or not open fire order, it's a maneuver and fire order. He's going to try and draw a bead on this American Sherman and put a hole in him. I don't like his chances. He's only got a pre-war 37mm gun. So, who knows. Now, observation is automatic because, again, vehicle in the open. You know what? Let's call it vehicle obscured firing. Because he has to look through some of his own camouflage netting to see the guy. He still is probably going to spot him. It's a really easy shot. Tanks that are shooting their main cannon tend to be easy to spot. They make a lot of noise. Vehicle obscured firing, a 2+. So again, as long as that Type 95 Hago tank does not roll at 1, he's got that Marine tank spotted. He rolls a 5, he totally got him spotted. Now, he only gets 1 shot because he also had to move this turn. Cool. So, let's get the range. Range is under 20. So, aimed fire to hit with an A. He's using an AP shell for damn sure. He's shooting at a tank. At under 20, it's a 3+. Unfortunately, I moved, the Japanese tank moved, and the American Sherman moved. So, target moved last turn, -1. Target is obscured. I did say he was obscured, -1. Firer moved, -1. So that 2+ now becomes a 5+. Oh, sorry, that 3+ now becomes a 6+. Let's take off the 1 for that camouflage netting. That was kind of cheesy. So now observation was automatic, and now it's only +2 to the 3+ target. So the Japanese have a 5+ to hit with their 1 tank, or with their 1 tank shell. Come on, get in the box. 3 they missed. The other guy is going to kind of do the same thing. The only problem is he's further back, and I don't think he's going to get... I think I'm going to give him a double movement order. Because if he moves 9 inches, he's not going to get a line of sight. That's... Hold on. 1, 2... Damn it. 1, 2... I'm trying to get like a... I don't have like a line of sight marker here. I don't know if that other Japanese tank is going to be able to get an angle this turn. But I'm going to give him every chance. I'm going to really take an accurate measurement and come up with an honest answer. He's got to get around those trees. So that's the shallowest angle I can get on that Sherman. Can I reach that with 9 inches or less? Again, go ahead and make your jokes. Answer is no. Okay, so what this Japanese tank is instead going to do, he's going to get a regular double movement order. So he basically gets to move twice, i.e. 18 inches. And what he's going to do is he's going to take this opportunity, he's going to park inside these craters and get like a hold down position for next turn. Clean up my map a little bit here. Okay, what else is going on? We already know what he's doing. Ooh, here we go. Field gun. Sherman or LVT? Does that field gun have AP ammunition? Is what's going to help decide that factor. Yes, he does. He's got pretty, or 75 Type 11. Oh, that's the anti-aircraft gun. The field gun has, oh, that's crap. That's horrible. Where's the anti-aircraft gun? It's here, but it doesn't really have line of sight on anything. Oh, hold on, it might. You know what, guys? Give me 2 seconds here. I apologize for my somewhat lack of preparation, but I want to get a decent line of sight tool. Format the shape, yes. Okay. What can this anti-aircraft gun actually see? I gotta shoot around that building, is the short answer. We'll go ahead and give that to him. Maybe he's shooting at the back of the tank, and we have true line of sight rules. So that anti-aircraft gun is going to try and put a hole in the side of that LVT. I would much rather shoot at a Sherman. I don't think I can see any Shermans. Shoot through the trash pile. We said that blocked line of sight. So I can't see either of the Shermans. I can't see that. I can see that LVT, but I'd rather shoot at the close one. Can't shoot through the trees. Can't shoot through the house and trees. So yeah, that's going to be his target. There's too many machine guns on those LVTs, guys. We got to start doing something about those. Push the Marines back into the sea. Meanwhile, I will catch up on Mr. Chat. Okay, so Ben Johnson says in YouTube, tell the story about the Japanese guy who swam out to the disabled landing craft and fired his MG into the backs of the Marines. Yeah, like the Japanese were fighting really hard here. So it's not really much of a story. But as you can see here, here are the Marines coming in. Again, 2-8 Marines was coming in here, 2-2 Marines was coming in here. And it was a huge battle going on these two beaches. This is on day 1, November 20th. So what a Japanese guy did was he ran down this pier, jumped in the water, swam out to a beached or grounded, disabled, whatever word it is you want to call, an American landing craft that had a 50 caliber gun on the end of it. And he climbed back out of the water, didn't pick up the 50 cal, got behind that 50 cal, and just started spraying it right into the backs of the Marines who were still trying to swim ashore. Tarawa was absolutely no joke as far as the intensity that both sides went to win that battle. Vorpalbite says, I am becoming more tech savvy, learning how to use the printer currently. Are we talking about a 3D printer? Oh, no, sorry. After that, I'm going to learn how to use the camera, take some pics from my Vietnam game. Absolutely, Vorpalbite. We definitely would look forward to that. Again, our Discord address is in the description of this video on YouTube. So go over to YouTube. You'll find this chat live in the description of the video. You'll find a permanent invite link. This is, of course, open to anybody. A permanent invite link to our Discord channel, where we have tons of pictures, lots of miniatures, people putting up some really great work. So that'll be awesome. Yes, Vorpalbite says, as I recall, the Japanese had very low quality weapons. That is hella true. They made up for it, or they tried to make up for it with fortifications. Their fortifications are next level, dude. I mean, this game doesn't really do them justice, but their fortifications are just sick. Cast a resurrection spell? Yeah, I wish I could. And Springtime says, looks like something is going to happen in the Ukraine soon. Yeah. Who knows? They've said that before, and I understand that I'm being kind of blasé about that, but the last time they were sure there was going to be a war, I came on this stream, I made 2 prediction videos, and of course, yeah, I was right again. What's a little different this time is the mass redeployment of Russian army forces towards the Ukrainian border last in the spring, like April, was done in the open. It was clearly saber rattling. It was done in daylight. They weren't trying to hide anything. They were going from the same barracks bases, the same, basic, army bases, up to the same 4 deployment areas that they are now. The exact same origin, point of origin, the exact same destinations, the exact same numbers, the exact same everything, but now they're doing it at night. And they're trying to be a little bit more circumspect about it. The radio security is a little bit better from what I read this time. It's a little less like trying to scare somebody and a little bit more like actually doing something. So I'm still not expecting anything to happen. Strategically, it's not in Putin's interests, and I'm going to go ahead and stand by that. However, operationally, it's looking a little bit more like a genuine military move than earlier in the spring. I think it was spring. When was the last big scare? They trot this thing out every year or so. Yet it's going to go completely kick loose on the Ukraine, and it's like, dude, we've been waiting for that to happen since 2014. It hasn't happened yet. I'm not trying to make light of what's going on in the Ukraine, but like a Russian state army invasion of Ukraine. Then again, you didn't say that, so I probably shouldn't put words in your mouth. Cool. So I'm just making sure I'm caught up because we have multiple streams going here. All right, cool. Or I should say the stream is going on multiple channels. All right, so let's see if we can knock down... okay, so let's get this field gun out of the way. This field gun has terrible anti-tank ammunition. So he is going to fire HE ammunition at those Marines. It is a 4+ to spot. 6, he spots. So he's going to get 2 HE fires against those Marines. 75, no, that's not it. 70 millimeter Type 92 field gun. 4 at 5+. All right, not the greatest, but hey, who knows? All right, so actually, first I have to roll the hit. What am I doing? I'm already looking up the damage. And before I get to that, I have to get the range. The range looks kind of long. Damn it. So it's less than 30. HE shell less than 30 is 4+. The Marines did not move. He did not move. Target is obscured. He's in the trench. So it's going to become a 5+ to hit. He gets 2 shots. Because he didn't have to move, he took the open fire order. So 2 dice, I need 5+. 1 miss, 1 hit. Alright? So again, we looked it up already. It's 4 dice at 5+. Holy crap! They got 2 hits. Okay, the Marines now have to make 2 cover saves. They are in a trench, so they get 4+ cover saves. Get those out of there so we're not confused. 2 dice had 4+ cover saves. They made both saves. The Marines took no damage. The Marines got lucky there. Right now, this homeboy right here is going to, like I said, take a shot, an aim shot at the flank of that LVT. I keep calling them LAVs. All right. So that range is pretty high. It might be 4 feet. Get out your virtual tape measure. That's 24 inches. That's another 20. Yeah, that's less than 50 inches. Holy crap. That's a pretty long range shot. AP shell at less than 50 is a 6+. All right, here we go. I get 2 shots, but I need a 6. It was a vehicle in the open and did fire, so observation is automatic. Here we go, 2 shots at a 6. And both missed. Okay, these guys are pinned, so they're not going to do anything. How do you get unpinned? there are two ways to do it. There's the tactical coordination rule, which is really expensive in terms of battle rate encounters, and then you can just wait till the end of the turn when you rally units. So we're now at the end of the Japanese turn. I didn't forget anybody, did I? Rally. The last part of a player's turn is to rally pinned units. Units marked as pinned now have their pin markers removed, can have your pinned markers removed, thus getting them back in the battle. In order to do this, player must take a battle counter from the pot. Each counter taken, remove 1d6 markers from any pinned units he wishes. So, yeah, basically, you have to go into the battle rating counter pile, you draw a counter, that earns you 1d6. You roll a d6, that's how many pinned markers you can remove. There's only one pinned marker here. You can leave it pinned if you're getting too close to the end of your battle rating counters. Again, they're only 10 out of 28, so they're going to go ahead and unpin. That's also the only infantry unit kind of holding the Japanese right wing together, as you can see. Or there's another way that you can unpin units that's really, really expensive. It's called the tactical coordination rule. Only your senior commander can do it. Your senior commander gets that order, and he draws a counter. This is in the middle of the turn, or even the beginning of the turn, and you can now pick one unit, not 1d6 units, one unit. And then that unit has to make a troop quality test, and he can unpin early at the beginning of the turn. So if I really needed to fire these guys right now, it's expensive as heck, and it's risky. That wasn't worth it. So I'm just going to unpin them the normal way. I.e., the first way to do that is to draw from Mr. Battle Rating Counters here, not looking at the camera, not looking at the tray, and I wind up with 4. So with that, they get to unpin that unit. Might not have been worth it. All right, so that concludes turn 1. We've only been here like 2 hours already. Oh my god. It's also really hot in here. I'm sweating like a... Oh, never mind. I'm sweating like a pig, I guess. Alrighty. American turn 2. I still have all my officers. 2 dice. We'll probably play 2 turns and then just go ahead and call. Again, this is just supposed to be an experiment and a bit of a demo game. Alright, so... Okay, a lot better. This time I got 11 orders. 2d6 for platoon level game, and 3 for my number of officers. That comes out to a total of 11. I don't even know if I have 11 units on the table. So now I'm going to give this another shot. So the first thing we're going to do is, again, we're going to call in that cruiser artillery. Okay, cruiser artillery gets called. First I have to make a priority check. Made the priority check. Make the communications check. Made the communications check, barely. Okay, now I have to make the spotter check. Come on, dude. Oh crap, my webcam's not showing. Okay, 5. Alright, so it's off by 2d6 inches. 6 inches. At a random direction. 12 o'clock. So again with these short rounds, come on, USS Colorado, what are you doing? At least it's closer this time. All right, so that's the aiming. That's the spotter round. That's the aiming round. It comes in and it lands. Cool. Now that's going to be, we said 6 total dice. I need at least one of them to be a 6, man. Come on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Turn on the camera this time. This is an important roll. So a 1 is it just whiffs. It's 3 guns aboard USS. It's not Colorado. That's Colorado. It's a battleship. I wish this was a battleship. It's a heavy cruiser. It doesn't matter. A heavy cruiser is bombarding this part of the beach. Basically, I get 1 turret's worth. So that's 3 guns. Open fire order is always shoot twice. That's going to be 6 dice. So here we go with some off-board artillery. Because trust me, this table is only 600 feet wide. We're talking about a ship that's basically the size of this entire map. And it's firing from about 5 miles away. So please, please, please give me some love on this roll. Nope. God bless. Still no 6s. Friggin' Navy. You guys aren't doing shit. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm not gonna pin anybody down in there, man. Because they get a 2+ save because they're in a concrete bunker pillbox. Yeah, they made all their saves. Crap. Damn it. All right. You know what? I'm getting so lucky with all my observing checks. I'm not even gonna worry about it. Okay, on to my other 2 orders. Those 2 Shermans there. Again, this Sherman is pinned down, but he can still fire. He's not he's only disabled, so he can't move. The good news is he's already made his crest up that hill. I'm not even going to worry about moving him. Obviously, I can't, but he doesn't have to. I'm going to give both of those Shermans open fire orders, so they're both going to shoot twice. That is technically a concealed, obscured gun that's firing. So it's technically, I do have to make some observation checks. Made the first one, barely. Made the second one. All right, so all 4 shells are going in there. All right, we said that the range was between 10 and 20. Ooh, that second one might not be. The second one might be further away. They're both at, well, we'll say the second one is more than 20. It's going to make a slight. So this guy's within 20, this guy's outside of 20. Did I mention that these turrets can turn? Except I can't use the controls now. Come on, turn. Oh, he can't because, again, he's going to hit the friggin' tank again. Okay, never mind. He's going to shoot. He's going to try to engage those new tanks. This guy is going to go ahead and put his 2 shells into that. I forgot there's no line of sight there. All right, so he's going to go ahead and take his 2 shots. He's at less than 20. That thing is really going to be hard to take out. But I got to do it. All right, here we go. 2 shots. An AP shell at less than 20 gets a 3+. I didn't move. He didn't move. Target is obscured. Yeah, he's in a concrete bunker, so we'll say it is 4+ to hit on both of those. 1 hit and 1 missed. The one that hit needs an A+ to penetrate. Another crappy roll. That bunker, that blockhouse is going to piss me off all game. All right, let's see if I manage to pin him down even. I did miss him once, so he only has to make 1 morale test. Ooh, pinned him down. I'll take that. That way he's not shooting at me next turn. Okay, meanwhile, this guy's going to take a poke at that lead tank. Maybe he's got line of sight, that is. Yeah, he does. And we did not count that camouflage net is obscuring. So he fired and moved. He's an infantry. He's a vehicle in the open firing. Observation's automatic. So he's already observed. He moved last turn. He did not move this turn. So I'll take a -1 for being for a moving target. That is AP at what range? More than 20. All right, so that sucks. AP shell at more than 20 is 4+. Make that a 5+ because again he did move. So to get 2 shots, give me a 5, please. Bounce that out of the box. Damn it! Those Marine tanks are just not doing any good this time. Okay, moving down the line. You do not want to move in front of enemy machine guns. Just like run out in the open against them. So what I'm going to do here is the squad here is going to get the order. Actually, what I'm going to do is this LAV is going to try and pin down or eliminate that machine gun team, and then this rifle squad is going to get a double movement order. So first, an open fire order from these guys. Observe twice, 4+. He made it on the first one, so okay. Again, my Marines are... The one thing the Marines are definitely getting lucky on is their observe checks. Again, I'm going to make that only 2 50 calibers. 4+. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 5 total hits. 5 total hits. 4 pluses to save. Fail save, fail save, fail save. Yeah, they're toast. Alright, so that's another machine gun team knocked out. The Japanese get kind of lucky this time with a 1. That one didn't cost them too much. $15 out of 28, they're now officially halfway there. Alright. And now these Marines will get a double movement order. So they're going to make a rush for that tree line and the Japanese trenches that are in that tree line. So normal movement is 5 inches. Time for them to move 10 inches. These guys are also going to get a movement order. Yeah, so I know that first turn didn't have a whole lot of movement, especially from the Americans, but it was literally you got to put down fire and you got to put a dent in the enemy before you can just start making these random rushes, because Battlegroup does not forgive you for that. You start sending guys into the open before you have the enemy either killed or suppressed or to some degree damaged. It gets ugly quick. So he's like running down these Japanese communication trenches. There's the squad leader. All right. The other half of the team is going to creep up a little. Oops. He can't really see anything from where he is, can he? You can sort of see that bunker, but small arms are not going to do anything against that concrete blockhouse. At the same time, I'm going to get the hell field gunned out of me if I just sit here. Oh man, I don't know what he's going to do. He's got to do something. These squads are already activated. You don't have to move them, but you know what I might do? I might have him fall back. The rest of this squad is going to fall back a little bit. Again, using 10 inches. Because they're really vulnerable. They're looking right down the throat of that 7 centimeter field gun. And what I'm going to try and do is take it out with a flanking attack by these 2 armored vehicles and this squad of Marine infantry. The problem is that hasn't happened yet. And if they just sit there, they're going to get some shells lobbed at them. All right, so now this tank is going to go ahead and take an open fire order against this bunker. It is technically an obscured gun firing. So I rolled a 4. Oh, sorry. I rolled a 4, so he did observe him. Now I got to roll the hits. That is definitely 2 hits. I have to penetrate. I have 2 chances to roll an 8+. A 9. Finally, knocked him out. And the second one also goes in there. The second one fails, but that's okay. The first one made it. So I'm basically treating these bunkers as armored targets. So I just gave them a K armor rating. That is, you guessed it, another Japanese counter draw. Another one. So the Japanese are getting the crap kicked out of them. But they're holding on. I don't know why that bothers me so much. Those things are supposed to be square. I made them nice. They actually even look like the real counters. By the way, in case anyone's wondering, these counters come with the set, come with the book. You literally just tear a cardstock out of the back of the book. It's all perforated and nice. You know, it's easy to do. And then you cut them up as best you can. You can just cut them up and throw them in a plate or a box or whatever. I found on my first cut, because I own like 7 of these books. The set comes with in every book you get a new set. The problem is they get bent up very easily. So I went to the craft store and I bought a whole bunch of Scrabble tiles. You can buy blank Scrabble tiles at the craft store, and then I just very carefully cut each one out and then just like school paste glued it to all these little wooden tiles. So I've got this great deluxe set of little wooden Battlegroup tiles. So yeah. And I tried to make my virtual ones look a little like the originals. You know, the same basic font or whatever, you know. But anyway. Oh no, I'm missing stuff in the chat. Third degree lights. Will turn down the air. I want an ice cold drink. No, I'm okay, Jen. I'll be alright. I'll be alright. How many lights? I understand the 4 lights. I get that reference, totally. There are 4 lights! But when did we start talking about lights? I'm sure I'm missing something. I'm no fool. I don't want to get tortured. Yeah, there are definitely 4 lights. Even though David Warner, in god-awful Cardassian makeup, tries to tell you there are 5. I can't understand how you can be so mistaken. And he's got his little pain torture device. Okay, so where was I? Oh, cool. Yeah, I nuked this thing. God, thank God. Alright. That's his open fire order. He's done. It's time to get serious. I've got to turn... Now that weapon is turned, now that one bunker is taken out, I've got to take this thing out, and I've got to break up this squad here. So how are we going to do that? Because that thing is actually pretty... That's an anti-aircraft gun. It's a 75 millimeter anti-aircraft gun. That'll put a hole in an LVT, no problem. And it'll even put a hole in a Sherman. So I got to figure out. So long story short, I'm sending infantry up there. There's plenty of cover, buildings and trees, versus an anti-tank weapon. Sounds like a job for infantry. You definitely don't send tanks up there. So this Marine support team is going to head up, open double movement order. Move up to 10 inches. He's going to move like whatever that is, 7 or 8 inches into that building. That was a good episode. That was Chain of Command, starring obviously the regular cast plus David Warner and Ronnie Cox playing Captain Jellicoe. The Starfleet villain who was right all along. That's one of the best things about that episode. Normally, Starfleet, or I should say Star Trek, has like a bit of a trope where, here comes the new admiral, here comes the new commander, like Commodore Decker from Doomsday Device or whatever it was, where it's, of course, the new guy is always wrong. Of course, the admiral's right. Of course, Captain Kirk is correct. No, this time, sorry. The new commander, who was kind of an asshole, nevertheless, he was right. That's how you run a ship. Lest you forget, you're in the friggin' Navy. I know they call it Starfleet. That's why they have Navy ranks, right? Trust me, it's still the friggin' Navy. Okay, so these guys will squash infantry well, so I'm going to deploy them again. Well, he's done for the turn. So that's why I'm setting armor against this remaining Japanese half squad in this rubble pile. Meanwhile, I'm setting infantry into this against this unit up here. Because again, you deploy strength against enemy weakness, and vice versa. You never apply your weakness against the enemy's strength. It's a good way to get killed. The problem is I don't have line of sight on these guys yet. So this guy's going to basically turn, difficult terrain, turn. So the movement on that LVT is 8 when he's on dry land. Obviously it's amphibious, so it's 8 inches. I know I just did some cockamamie movement there over difficult terrain. So to do it technically correct, difficult terrain, take 1d6 off of your movement. So I only got to move 2 inches. So let me do it right then. He gets to move a total of 2 inches. I'm going to use the bottom corner of the LVT. He doesn't quite make it as far as I wanted him to. Damn it. That's what I get for cheating. This support team is going to take cover in this trench and in those craters. Alright, I'm pretty sure that's going to wrap up things for the Americans. This unit never moved. He's just going to take a little bit of cover so he doesn't get hit by that friggin' anti-aircraft cannon again. Alright, so that's going to conclude the Americans for turn 2. Japanese for turn 2. Nothing for the Americans was pinned. Alright, cool. Japanese for turn 2. Open fire order. Open fire order. Whatchamacallit is automatic. Observation is automatic. I need a... Oh god, what's it? It's under... It's just over 20, right? We said it was just over 20. Trying to speed things up a little bit. If you have a rules question, let me know, and I will answer it in the chat. But for now, I'm going to kind of stop explaining the rules and just kind of buzz through the rest of this turn, maybe one more turn after that. So we said a little bit more than 20. 4 plus. Japanese just can't catch a break, man. They only got out of 4 plus 4 dice. They only got 1 hit. And trust me, that's a crappy gun too. At this range, it has armor piercing value of 2 against. We'll even call that a flank shot because I'm trying to give the Japanese a break. Flank armor on the Sherman is L. So 2. What did that say? 2. At this range, yeah, over 20. 2 versus L. Oh, God. That's not great. They got to roll a 10 plus. Holy crap. Okay. 2 plus. Or no, 10 plus, I said. They got a 10! Alright, so if you make the shot exactly on, greater than is destroyed, less than is glancing in, equal to equals pinned. Target is pinned, must take a morale test. Now, it's already pinned. I'm over here on the vehicle morale table. If I roll a 1, it is now abandoned. See that 1 next to the abandoned? Only abandoned if the vehicle is already pinned, immobilized. Oh, it's already immobilized. Never mind. A soft-sitting vehicle, blah, blah, blah. The point is, it's already vulnerable to being abandoned. Let's see what happens. But it's already automatically pinned because I made exactly on the armor penetration number. So here we go with a 1d6. 5. Okay, no worries. But it is still pinned, which means the Americans will have to draw a battle rating counter to unpin it later. Speaking of which, the Japanese are going to do it. What I just talked about before, the tactical coordination order, I'm going to do it. I'm going to spend a battle rating counter. I know it's crazy, but I'm trying to get a little crazy here. I'm going to basically give away a battle rate encounter to unpin this unit early. Oh, sorry. Sorry. All right, not looking at the box, not looking at the box. A 3. Okay, that cost them. Now they have to make a... now they have to make a unit quality test. So, yeah, it's okay if you have, like, veteran or elite units. Both sides are veterans, at least. So, no worries. But you don't do this with green troops. Trust me. Do not do this with green troops. All right, let me look up exactly how to do this. Because this is important. Tactical coordination. Only unit with a senior officer special rule can be given the tactical. Yeah. Command unit can thus do nothing else but it can nominate a friendly pinned unit to attempt to remove its pin counter early. This is a battle counter. Okay. Pin unit must then pass a unit experience test as given under infantry close assaults. Okay, cool. So veteran unit 2+. Okay, they made it. Good. There's nothing more heartbreaking than taking a battle rating counter, pulling like a 4 or a 5, and then failing the unit experience test. That's not good. Sometimes it's a cruel mistress. Okay, so that unit is now unpinned. I can now give it an order. I'm giving it... Oh, I never rolled for Japanese orders. Okay, plus their 3 remaining officers, they're fine. They don't have that many units left. I definitely made the right call earlier when I downsized this from a company-sized game to a platoon-level game. Alright, so I can now give them a double fire order. They're going to go ahead and shoot at those Shermans. It cost me a counter, but now I have a chance of maybe blowing up one of those Shermans. Automatically spotted, 2 shots in the open fire order. We said 4 pluses? No, I think it's less than that. I think it's like a 3+. It's more than 20. They don't have HE shells. They only have, I'm sorry, they don't have AP shells. They only have HE shells. So HE shell at more than 20 is a 4+. Cool. Come on. I'm actually rooting for the Japanese now. I really shouldn't be doing that. They still got 1 hit. Okay, a 5 versus a K is an A+. A 7. Damn it. They do force a morale check. So it's a 5 versus a K. They needed an 8 or better. They just rolled a 7. Nevertheless, less than is glancing hit. Target must still take a morale test. And again, it's already pinned. So you never know. That did not work out well. The Japanese gambled and lost. I was trying to take out one of those units. So they fired. This guy is pretty much just going to run this way. There's nobody else left. This guy is going to try and shoot at somebody. No line of sight. No line of sight. No line of sight. Technically, there's a line of sight there. It's just extreme range. Missed. Oh, I get 2 shots. Missed. A double movement order. Or you know what they really should do? They should fall back into that bunker. Let's do that. Japanese are falling back into this wrecked bunker. The gun is destroyed, but the concrete is still there. Tell you what, since that building has been penetrated, we'll knock down its value from K to... What's after K? A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L. The unit is now considered L and reinforced. No longer K and hardened, because it's now obviously been very badly damaged. Now these guys got been totally abandoned, but whatever. All right, that'll wrap up the Japanese turn. American turn 3. Japanese have no new units, no new units pinned, so they don't have to draw another battle rate encounter for that. Turn 3. This senior commander can either call in artillery or rally that tank unit. You know what, the Navy's gonna get lucky one of these days. So we're gonna go ahead and try to call in that artillery again. Okay, made the priority check. Oops, sorry. With a 6, definitely made the communications check. Spotter round. Lands within 2 inches, or 2d6, 9 inches. Where's my d12? At 8 o'clock. This lock almost doesn't matter at this point. All right, what really needs to happen is I have to roll a 6 out of one of these. I got 6 dice. This is the third chance. This is 18 dice. I haven't gotten a single 6. Come, okay, oof, I got 1. Oh my god, I was about to rage. This shell does nothing. These guys do area effect damage. It's just damn near impossible to get pinned down. I don't care how big the artillery shell is, and these are gigantic artillery shells. It is damn near impossible to actually score a hit when or to get pinned down when you're inside a concrete bunker. Okay, but I did get 1 shell that actually has landed on pretty much on the bunker. Finally, out of 18 shots, I finally got got lucky once. So these are the 8-inch heavy cruiser guns. We're looking at 7 dice out of 2+. I'm probably still not going to do it, but at least now I can start to work down the crew. And once you start reducing the crew, then it's more difficult for the Japanese to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It's more difficult for the Japanese to operate the gun because they have to have a certain number of crewmen. Notice there are 6 figures in there, as well as the cannon itself. Okay, cool. They all hit because it's all 6+, or it's all 2+. 6 is the gun itself. Cool. And the other 6 are going to be for the crew. 3+ to save. We'll knock it up to 3+ because that bunker's been damaged by now. Otherwise, we're going to be here all day. I probably shouldn't do that. Okay, I'll go to the right number. 1 Japanese crewman is destroyed. Now, that 6 is for the gun itself. Oh, Lord, please, baby, please, baby, please. It's 5. Nope, the gun is still there. Alright. Well, I did my best. This guy's going to take an open fire order on this tank. Then it's a hit and a miss, actually. I think that's 2 misses. That's 2 misses. God bless. Those tanks have just all of a sudden started to do very, very badly. Okay, let's go over to this group then. Why are these all squashed out? Hold on, guys. I think my ruler got screwed up. Yeah, look at that. Hold on. Notice my ruler is no longer the right shape. Yeah, something went wrong there. All right, so I'm going to remeasure this. It's still less than, this is still over 20, right? Okay, cool. We still had the right number. Sounds like someone's pinging us on Discord. Making sure everything's okay. Is everything still cool in Twitch? Everything looks cool on YouTube. Everything looks cool on Twitch. Okay, just making sure. Walkabout Game says, trying to find out where the files are for the Zulu stuff. Sitrep 6, I've got the STL files for 3D prints, British, and... Oh, okay, I'm reading older chats. Yeah, Sitrep 6 is already whipping serious ass on getting those Works Drifts miniatures put together. He's going for a January 22nd timeline. Clearly, we're going for the anniversary there. Okay, Marines are going to push forward. I made this board too big, man. Holy crap, 10 inches. We're going to assault those tanks, since we clearly can't take them out. Doggone it. Alright, this guy's going to get a double movement order. That normally gives him 16 inches of movement. However, he's going to cross difficult terrain once and twice. Trench and tree line. I'm going to take 2d6 off of his 16-inch total movement. He loses 5 inches. His inches goes down to 11. So it basically goes that far. Double movement order. Marines advance. Yeah, I'm going to double flank. What we're going to do is we're going to get this bunker in a two-sided assault. Oops. Ooh. Using the wrong end of the ruler. Sorry, I hella cheated there. They're pretty much just in like a single file line running down this Japanese communication trench. Okay, we know what he did. He called in artillery. He's going to be crossing difficult terrain once. I'll take off 1d6 off of his 8 times 2, 16. So 16 minus 1d6. 6. So it's down to 10. He never even made it to the difficult terrain. That doesn't make sense. Alright, so he'll reach the difficult terrain and then stop. The driver balks a little bit when he says drive into that infantry slit trench there. Alright, this tank is going to take a double fire order on that bunker. Try to suppress them a little bit. Here we go with infantry that is concealed that hasn't fired yet, because they haven't fired from that position. Actually, that unit hasn't really fired at all. They're actually going to be pretty tough to spot. Obscured infantry 4+. Barely made it. I still have not missed a single Marine observation order. It's the one thing that's gone right for me. Actually, lots gone right for me, but definitely that. Okay, so I'm going to take 2 shots. We are at over 20 inches, I believe. Yeah. Well, we're right about at 20. Yeah, we'll say that we're under 20. Sweet. That actually makes a difference. HE shell at under 20. It becomes a 3+. I did not move. I'm shooting at the bunker. The bunker is not obscured. I'm shooting at the infantry. So we'll count it as obscured. 4+. Because I have to use HE shells. I'm using HE shells on this guy, so I'm not using AP shells. Count plus. 3 is a miss because of the obscured. 4 is a hit. Alright, so 1 shell hit. That's 4 at 4 dice. Sweet. 3 successes. That means 3 saves. That was a hardened bunker. But remember, we said we're not going to call it hardened. We're going to knock it down to reinforced because it got blown up. I.e., I've already hit it and blown up the pack howitzer that was in there earlier. So we said we knocked that down from a hardened K for armor piercing damage down to a reinforced L. Yes. So the higher the letter, the worse the armor. Okay, cool. So yeah, now the Japanese forces in there get a 3 save. It's still a lot of concrete. It's still a pretty good save. 3+ is a good roll. So let's see. And 2 survived, 1 did not. So that is 1 guy in here toast. They're all rifles. Also, you get to pick which guy gets eliminated. The defender does. So that's 1 unit out of there. That unit must now take a morale test. 2, he's pinned. Nice. Now that he's pinned, I feel a lot safer moving this guy up. All right, we're going to do an assault. This Marine team... Well, actually, first I'm going to do... Oh, he can't see. All right, never mind. I'm going to do a move and fire order with this guy. So he moves and then fires. That's my Marine rifle team. Okay, this guy was not in reaction mode. So basically you can give an order to your troops that means that they were going to shoot when the enemy moves in front of you. But he's been shooting at that LVT and missing. So he took his movement and fire check. It's 3 for the bell-fed machine gun, 1 for the rifle, 1 for the SMG. That's a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 dice. I'm within, 5 inches? Maybe not that much. No, I'm more than 5 inches away. I'm trying to, Okay. Actually, it's right at 5, but I'll call it more than 5. Because not all of them are within 5. So the 5 to 10, it's 3+. They're definitely concealed behind trees. And they're not concealed by trees, but they're concealed in entrenchments. So actually, first thing I have to do is observe. So before I even get that far. Fails to observe. There goes my fire and maneuver tactics. So my plan was to get that Browning machine gun team up there in the brush, hose these guys down, pin them down a little bit, and then the way you're supposed to with advance and assault, with fire and maneuver tactics, attack or assault a suppressed position. Didn't happen because these guys got up there, and with the smoke and confusion, I know it looks like they're really close. Maybe they were looking over here. They're like, go up there, and in the tree line, you'll find a Japanese artillery piece. And they're looking this way, and they didn't look that way. And it's split second of battlefield chaos. Maybe they just got confused. Something happened. So they did not observe. They only get 1 chance to observe because they did have to move. That Marine Browning team is not going to get to shoot at this Japanese anti-aircraft crew. Now we're going to have to do it the old-fashioned way. The way you assault in this game, you can move 5 inches, and then if you're within 5 inches, you can assault. So I move the front guy 5 inches. Everybody's now within 5 inches of the gun. Here comes the assault. Whole bunch of Marines hauling ass up that hill. All right. Let me check this. Because these also don't happen that often. Oh, first I have to roll to make sure the assault even happens. Veteran unit 2+. Cool. All right, so let me just quickly look this up and make sure that I'm doing it right. Oh my god. Alright, now it's going to be a pain in the butt here. Give me 1 second, guys. I apologize for the delay. Yeah, I want to do the assault order. Oh, it's in the normal orders. Okay, I know where I'm looking now. I'm sorry. Watch it not be here now. Infantry close assault. Infantry unit will attempt to get within close assault charge range, or close assault range 5 inches, and engage the enemy in a close assault pistols, grenades, bayonets, rifle butts, etc. In order to close assault, roll a d6. Okay, we did that part. If they pass, continue the assault order. If they fail, blah blah blah. To press the assault, infantry unit, vehicle and gun crews can't use the close assault order, but they can resist against close assaults. May move up to. Okay, we already did all that. You went through all this, but didn't tell us how it actually works. Oh my god. Alright, let me look up one more spot here. At least it gave me a reference. Up. Infantry close assault. Okay, there's... Yeah. Submachine guns. All infantry squads and weapons teams are included to have grenades. The attacking unit can add an additional d6 to a total rate of fire. The attacking unit can add an additional d6 to its total rate of fire as his men begin to post and throw grenades. Alright. It is likely for an assault to be deadly on both sides. An infantry unit engaging the enemy at 5 inches or less adds up its total ROF, including the d6 for thrown grenades, and bold individuals charging in, bayonets fixed, entrenching e-tool in hand. Observation, oh yeah, there's no observation roll in a close assault. You're in the trench with the guy. Such boldness is, oh yeah. Stop with the fluff and give me the rule. Simultaneous with, okay, unpinned unit can also fire back. Resolve this as normal without any order required. Defenders do get their bonus for having submachine guns, do not get a bonus for grenade. Okay, cool. Alright, sorry for the delay, guys, but I wanted to make sure I got this right. I mean, clearly the Marines are going to win the assault. It's 3 versus 8, and we have BARs and submachine guns and everything else. We also have grenades. But I want to see how much this is going to cost the Americans. So 1, 2, 3. We'll give that guy 2 for a submachine gun, so that's going to be 4. This is what the Marines lose going in. And it's hella lethal because you don't get a cover bonus and you're obviously at point blank range. So the roll to hit, I think it's a 2+. Yeah. Okay, so what is this going to cost us? 3 hits. They don't say anything about cover. They don't... Observation is automatic. I got that. Both sides make cover saves against any hits as normal. If both sides are inside the same building, they both count as hard cover. Units may not use the fallback from a close assault rule. Okay, I finally found it. Again, apologies. Alright, so they're both within the same trench, which we counted as hard cover. So that's going to be 3 dice, 3 hits, 3 saves against a 4+. I failed all 3. Alright, so that's 3 Marines down. Alright, now before that happened, 1, 2, 3. Okay, I'm making sure those were all rifles. Okay, I have a BAR here. He's worth 2. Submachine gun, he's worth 2. 3. Another BAR. 4, 5. 6, 7, 8. Submachine guns get 2 dice in close assaults. So that's 8 total dice plus a d6 for my grenades. So it's going to be a total of 9. One miss. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And 8 total hits versus a save of 4+. Pretty sure the Japanese are toast. 1 miss, 2 miss, 3 miss, 4 misses. Yeah, there's only 3 guys there. Alright, so we took out that gun. We did lose 3 figures. Are we pinned? Morale test. No. Alrighty. But that gun is toast. That does count as a counter draw for the Japanese. Not looking at the box, not looking at the box. Dun, dun, dun. 5! Ooh, the Japanese felt that one. Now, the Marines are going to close out their turn with this. This was the last thing the Marines were going to do. They are going to unpin that Sherman, so that does count as drawing a counter. Now, formally, the Marines get a 1. Okay, the Marines are just literally getting all the luck. In case anyone asks, the difference between, because it's like, well, wait a minute, man. Why did you, why even draw a tactical coordination counter when, it's either way, you're just unpinning one unit. Well, number one, you have to roll for it. And this unit, in this game, I should say, everyone's going to get good rolls on that tactical coordination roll because everyone's at least veteran, if not elite troops. It's Marines versus Marines. This is the best that both nations had at the time. So that roll is very easy. Remember, when you when you have to draw the actional counter to get that tactical coordination roll, you don't automatically get to rally a unit. You get to roll to rally a unit. So if you've got like French conscript infantry in 1940, man, do not use the tactical coordination roll. It's not going to go well for you. Also, formally, what it does is when if you're patient and you wait till the end of the turn, and you take that counter, what that allows you to do is roll 1d6. So I would get to unpin 3 units right here. I only have 1 unit anyway, so either way, it's the same. However, that was a 5 for the Japanese, and that was a 1 for the Americans. Again, Americans are just getting hella lucky here. By the way, do not do this in real battle group. Do not arrange your battle rating counters in groups of 10. That makes it really easy for your opponent to see exactly what your score is. Okay, so now it's time for the Japanese to probably commit suicide here. It's the Japanese turn. Japanese got to do something, man. All right. Am I going to unpin this unit? Survey says, now see, I'm at 24. If I roll a tactical coordination roll and then draw a 5, that gets me to 29. I instantly lose the game. Risk versus reward. What should I do here, guys? Sitrep 6 is copyrighting me. What? Oh no. What's going on with, are you filing a copyright claim, Tough of yours? Did we do something wrong? Or did Sitrep 6 do something wrong? I'll believe that part. That Sitrep 6, no, I'm just kidding. Just kidding, Bill, if you're listening. There's probably something I'm missing in Discord right now. Sound is fine. Okay, thanks, because science teacher. All right, so this is going to wrap things up. In fact, the Japanese may actually shoot themselves in the foot right here. I'm going to roll tactical coordination, unpin this unit early, and then charge that Marine machine gun team with my 5 guys. I've got 5 guys there. He's only got 3. The Marines only have 3. So is it worth it? Survey says yes. I just have to not draw a 5 here. Because Because again, I have to not draw a 5, and then I have to make the roll. So I'm already at 24. 10, 20, 24. If I roll a 5, that gets me to 25. If you tie your battle rating, you're still in the game. You have to actually exceed your battle rating. Alright, so here we go. Oh no, hold on everybody. Slight problem with my webcam. Holy mackerel. Come on, webcam. Stop it with that. The webcam kind of fell over. Give me a second here. How about you stop doing that, dude? Seriously. Oh, hold on. Sorry, guys. I got a problem with my webcam. Give me a few seconds to figure this out. I did buy, and it arrived earlier today, a pretty kick-ass new PC. The problem is it's a lot heavier than my old PC, and that's where my webcam is. And so setting up this webcam becomes just a skosh more problematic. Alright, what does that start to look like? Alright, that's a little bit better. Alright, so tactical coordination order for the Japanese. Please don't be a 5. If it's a 5, I'm going to redraw, because that would literally wreck the stream. It's a 2. Okay, cool. So no harm, no foul. On that part. Alright. Come on with that noise. I'm going to have to come up with a little bit more of a permanent solution for this. I have an external webcam. It's just not set up right now, and it's not the clarity is not nearly as good as this other one. So again, apologies. Please stay there. I know, right? The height of entertainment. Listening to me messing around with a stupid webcam. Okay, we took care of that. Come on, give me like another 30 minutes on that webcam mount. All right. Alrighty, so he is no longer pinned. Okay, cool. They're going to go ahead and take that order and charge in. The Japanese are more or less committing suicide here. They want to take this Marine unit with them, because in the Marine turn, the beginning of turn 4, this LVT is going to shoot into the back of these guys and finish them off. But by close assaulting now, they're going to take that Marine machine gun team with them and at least force the Marines to draw another battle rating counter. So here we go. In we go. Again, they moved, and they were not put into reaction fire mode, so they don't get to shoot as they're going in. They will get to resist the assault, though. So for the Marines, it's 3 for the machine gun, there's 2 for a submachine gun, and there's 1 for a rifle. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They're in trash, so we're going to call that a 3+ to save, a 4+ to save. Fail, fail, fail. There's 2 Japanese left in there. Dude, come on with this. Alright. 1. We'll keep the officer alive. 1, 2, 3. There's 2 guys in there left. Alright, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for the submachine gun, 6 for the Japanese officer. +1 for the grenade makes 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Against the Americans. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 hits. The Marines may have survived that. 1, 2, 3, 2 fails on the save. There's one guy left. Is he pinned? If he gets pinned, he suffers the last man standing rule. You know what? Oh, I didn't have my webcam showing. Sorry. Get all these other dice out of here. If he fails that pin check, he's now subject to the last man standing rule. He did fail that pin check. So that Marine is down. The attack succeeded, although it was pretty much suicidally expensive. And that means that the Marines now have to draw another battle rate encounter. Watch it be an airstrike or something. A 2. So even when the Marines have to draw a battle rate encounter, they're drawing nice low numbers. The Japanese in this game are literally just not catching a break. That's okay, they're pretty much out of their misery at this point. And again, I don't know why this bothers me, but it bothers me. I crafted these to be 1.5. Now it won't let me do it. I don't even know how they got distorted. The Americans, they haven't even they've just now reached 10. Oh man. Yeah, maybe the scenario wasn't well balanced. Or the Japanese can't shoot for shit. Double fire order, double fire order, double fire order. Come on, guys. This is the third time. So those 2 tanks down there, they're going to fire 4 times into that exposed Sherman that's already crippled, and they still can't hit it. I think this time they hit it 4 times. It's more than 20 inches. AP shell. It is not obscured. It is not moving. I did not move. 3s count as hits. Okay, so I get 3 chances at a 10 plus. 1, 2, 3. They're just wailing on that thing. Oh, all right. Now that other that big bunker gun is going to put in his 2 shells. Again, already observed. Those are both hits. He needs an 8 plus. Finally! Can't believe I'm rooting for the Japanese here. We're going to say that second shot goes into the other Sherman. He fails. Alright, so 1 Sherman is finally exploded. I'm going to knock that turret off. Oh my god, look at that. Virtual miniatures are epic. And now that Sherman is burning, the Americans have to legit pull another counter. They get a low ammo. The Americans are just being absurdly lucky here. Alright, so ammo low. I pick a friendly unit that is not a... I pick a friendly unit that is not a vehicle. Or, I'm sorry, I pick an enemy unit that is not a vehicle, and I say, you have now potentially ran out of ammunition. There's almost no Japanese units left on the table. Like, I can't pick that gun. Can I pick that gun? Let me look it up. I think I can pick the gun. Ammunition low. An enemy unit is running out of ammunition. This counter is immediately played on an enemy. He's going to get 1. We're pretty much done with the game.